on, I'm gonna get mine. Go through the crime if you can't do the time. Don't tell me how you're off and down. When you're smiling in my face, but you play me like a clown. It's your fool, bitch. So just step back. Or I'm mad dad when I come down straight. I thought you were my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. I'm back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly dis, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, but you know it's right. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll.
We shouldn't start with that. That wasn't for live TV.
Damn it.
Almost, Lefty, almost.
I'm waiting for the bumper music as usual.
Bump it.
Bump it.
Do we have chairs?
Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, God. There it is.
Dun, 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 dun.
Welcome to the SativaCross.com podcast. Live from Trenton, New Jersey. I'm out of the Who's Gal. I'm out of the Who's Gal. Out of the Who's Gal.
Who you want to roll with?
So yeah, what a fun-filled Friday in Linden. A lot of stuff to talk about today. Give it to me.
Let's get on it then.
Good morning, Jim Miller.
Good morning, Lefty Grimes.
Tony Liberty.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Jim, how are you? Got you.
Good morning. Jim Wayne. And Jim and me have the only name that's also a euphemism for a joint.
Danny.
And the door open when you don't
Jimmy
have
the
a
door?
key, a lock, yeah. And a joint.
Fish just played Jimmy night the other night. It was good.
Tony don't mean shit when it comes to pop.
No, yeah, Tony does not mean shit when it comes to bud. Don't smoke a Tony.
Don't smoke a Tony. Make sure you clean your Tonys.
No comment, Jim Wayne.
So, you know, I think, first of all, we start off with, we ended the pod last week in about 10 minutes for social adult use bill. And so we didn't get that to talk about. we did talk about the bill, and it was a day to remember. Would have been that one way or the other, but we had good representation there from the cannabis consumer community, from the activist community, and it was one of the hottest days I've ever been outside in a suit and tie. And we had to wait because Senator was packing so many things into his schedule that day that he was probably running late for all of them after us, a half hour late where we were. Security detail where he was 5 that evening.
There was a state trooper there?
No, not where we were, which would have been great.
He could have helped me.
Well, it would have been somebody I know. But we don't want to talk about that first.
Let's get to the good stuff. The Cory Booker meeting was amazing.
What did you? Well, I can't ask what you liked best about it. You were indisposed.
Lefty wasn't there.
Yeah, I was there. No, I was there.
You're there in spirit. You were there in everybody's mind. People were aware that you were there.
I was screaming like a little girl.
No, we're not.
I really want to see the video of what happened after the phone turned off.
He was so well. If you get my phone working, I can show you 45 seconds of that video if I can.
Oh, you have it on your. Oh, let's
get
that going.
No, I can. I was explaining. I don't have Wi-Fi service. I don't need it. It's connect up directly to my thing or whatever it is, and I don't do that connection.
I don't do that connection. He doesn't do data.
But this phone, I'm getting a new one. Is an Android, and I'm going to destroy this in spectacular fashion when I get a new one. I don't know what it's going to be. It's not going to be a hammer.
I think I can set up a hotspot. It's not going to be.
I have a hotspot.
I could give it to Lefty and let him do it.
Yeah. Hotspot.
He could break it.
Lefty break it.
Accidentally.
Stenosis is no joke. No, wait. Stenosis is no joke. I've been dropping stuff a lot this past 6 months because of my stenosis. And if you have stenosis, you understand that you do drop things. Yeah. I have no strength in my arm. I don't know if it had anything to do with what happened to me on Friday. I know I had 4 things in my hand on Friday. Yeah, okay. But we're not going to get into that. We'll get to that later.
It's really hard to, though. But this is what I'm talking about. See, and when we get to talking about the second part, this is what happens when you try to talk about the first part. Not just us, other people. Did you hear? That's not what we want to talk about specifically first. We want to talk about the bill. Cory Booker introduced, as we talked about last week, what's it called?
It was the marijuana word in there.
Marijuana
Freedom Act or something?
Marijuana.
What words to use, too? Marijuana?
Justice.
I can't believe
That's it, Marijuana Justice.
Justice Act. Yeah, I should remember that.
Shouldn't we use cannabis at this point?
It should be cannabis. Yes.
I mean, really?
I think that.
Although I think half of America doesn't know what cannabis is, because
that's ignorance then.
Yeah, actually, when I make signs, the reason I mostly put marijuana in it, because somebody's walking by, or if I had a sign at the governor's office that said cannabis, that's the kind of marijuana that helps. I mean, the kind, as if it's a brand, You got sativa and you got cannabis.
Yeah, that's the sort that will work.
It sounds like
Did you see Donald Trump's? We're going to renew the Just Say No program. Apparently.
Oh yeah.
With less
brilliant
proper words.
Well, we can talk about that, but not now.
Very well thought out.
Hold on.
Make a note. Put it down on the list.
Cory Booker's Justice Act first.
Yeah. I got to get my notes out on that.
There's a lot going on.
It's far-reaching.
There's 100 things doing today.
Yeah.
It's a pretty far-reaching bill. Wide-reaching, it's called. I like that it deals with expungement. That it's not just that it would probably even allow people to get out of incarceration, but mostly it's for people who have been through it or simply have it on their record. That it would not be on their record because getting arrested, as most people would understand, makes it harder to find a job, makes it harder to do so many things.
Am I going to have a hard time finding a job now because of Sergeant Birch?
No one is
harder than usual.
Oh.
No one is hiring you, Lefty.
Oh. Never thought about that.
People are afraid of you, Lefty.
Sorry. Deviated again.
Yeah.
It's all about me. I'm a hurt party here.
Well, this is what
victim.
This is what people are saying too. There's a half a dozen people I know that would be going, "That's a fact," and not in a good way. So we'll talk about that. You know.
Tell me who they are so I can block them on Facebook.
It's people that are going the same way with us, and I think I can
obviously not.
I can talk. Well, look, I can work
Okay.
with people like that, even when I know they're wrong.
Okay.
And I can work with that, and
Me?
no,
Not so
and
much.
Jim is more political than we are.
Yeah, you're better than me.
I do. I can smile at their face while I'm thinking something else because we're going the same way, and I can look good about it. And I can.
You do it to me all the time.
I do all the time. You think, you know.
You sit next to Lefty all the time very well.
Yeah, and I smile at his face while I say, "Man, you screwed up."
You
But see,
idiot.
well,
wrong
that's
with you?
different. You know, we talk honestly to each other.
we
and-
don't.
I can only imagine when that glass jar broke. Jim was like across the field going,
No,
oh,
I didn't.
no.
I didn't know about
What did
the
you
broken
think?
jar.
What did you think?
That's
Just
called diplomacy.
I thought it was all because he just lit up and they were surprised, and that the first time they say or do something like they want to turn you around or whatever, and you balk, you're going down onto the ground. You know, if you don't do exactly.
You're
what they
resisting.
say. And
surprised I didn't get that.
He attacks
okay,
you.
listen,
and
let's do it
Sorry,
the other
deviating,
way around.
deviating.
Let's talk about this first then. There was a Cory Booker press conference. We had a bunch of his people there, Whitstein,
Yes.
Vanessa Maria. I went with them, and we had a very nice car ride. It was like a whole meeting on the way there. Ken went, brought Leo, Eric, who's usually here, Roseanne Scott, DPA. Oh, geez, and by the way, me forgetting this is one for the home team because I've consumed no cannabis today. I feel I'm better organized at getting something done, like setting this up if I have a little, and hurrying up. So if I'm forgetting something now, it's without having used cannabis. And if I don't have a good short-term memory now, it's natural. I don't have a short-term memory. My earliest memories was when my mom would say, if your head wasn't attached to your body by your neck, you would lose it. And I heard that so early that it was like, oh, what do you mean? That might happen? I mean, it scared me hearing that. So I'm just saying, I've always been forgetful. That's one for the home team.
That's
us.
That's a Jim tangent.
And we were well represented. And the press conference was on a very sunny, hot day. Everybody but Lefty had a suit and tie on.
I had a nice shirt on.
What kind of shirt was it?
Hospital scrubs.
No, it was a nice shirt with a collar and two pockets. I didn't wear an I&E shirt.
The picture of in the television press looks like hospital scrubs to me. You're like folded over on the ground.
Looked like prison.
thought it looked
Looked
like
like
a gas station shirt.
prison gray or something.
Yeah, it is prison gray.
I dressed nice.
But anyway,
I didn't show up because
we had
everyone
all
was
these
going to be
people
dressed
there,
nice.
and then we heard it was going to be a delay. It was scheduled for noon. And around noon, we found it was going to be delayed, which left Lefty in a position of, well, it's going to be time to medicate. And up until that point, I'd have been like, yeah, natural as could be. So then I would have thought,
He's totally
well,
legal.
now comes the part where Lefty, because I've been with you at town hall meetings with the governor and a couple of police stations. And at a police station, it's you walk in, desk sergeant, I'm a legal patient, I have my state-sanctioned medicine in its proper container, my ID, my registration card. I'm in pain. I'd like to use my medicine now. Where's the closest place to here I can go? Use my medicine, and you will not arrest me or have me arrested.
I don't know.
That's
what we get.
It is to show their ignorance.
Right.
Most of the time, they eventually just lead us to a nice tree in the shade
Yeah,
somewhere.
they look it up. They call someone. They find out.
But that's not really the point.
Right.
When you do that, the point is, what if a patient just decided to use their medicine, and the same officer came by, and all he saw was somebody smoking marijuana. At that point, when they're approached, is that marijuana you're smoking? Yes, it is. I'm a medical marijuana patient. At that point, if that's all they say, they're supposed to ask for identification and your registration card because they can, in minutes, call that number and verify where you bought your last medicine, how long ago, how long you've been, anything they want to know, they could verify, just like that. So I would have figured, INE Tour is going to go out and ask them and straighten this stuff out at an event where Nick Scutari, the author of our legalization bill as well as our medical marijuana bill in the Senate.
Nah, surely the cops knew. This is a rally for cannabis. Surely the cops are in on this. Come on. I'm like,
but that's not how you do your
I know,
tour. Surely the
up.
police know about it. It's been a law for 6
I
years.
screwed up.
He was hunting.
How come? No, we didn't get to the screw up part. We're going to do this methodically,
This is
too.
bad. This is really bad on all.
Well, when I lay it out, tell me how it sounds. I mean, at this point,
Go ahead. Yeah.
I would have expected you go ask. They don't know, so their superiors are like, that's a finger snap. A finger snap away. They would have had to ask their superior. They probably would have called the county prosecutor. You could have said the author of the bill is right here. Would you like to ask him? Because he's the one that wrote the bill, and he's the one that took part in the regulations. Wow. Right there. But what you did instead of going through that course and putting them on the spot that way was you did the Stephen Kusplich method, which also can be effective. You simply light your medicine up, and when they come, say you can't do that or whatever, and you have a card, and that's what Stephen does.
Just let me say, I did that at Seaside, and we did not get arrested at Seaside after doing that. Just saying. Just saying. Footnote.
Yeah, but that wasn't like that was at the MS walk on the boardwalk.
And we just lit up. We didn't ask the cops permission. We lit up.
Do you think a diabetic that's about to go into diabetic shock
Yeah.
asks permission to
Okay,
use
well,
his insulin?
you dropped the glass bottle in the process, which is what led, because up until that point, you'd lit it, you're smoking.
Joint, and I dropped the jar as I was lighting my joint. You can see it on the video. We'll review the video in a minute.
Yeah.
I'll show you. It's
Well, you have to describe it because I understand
Yeah.
that we're not set up to broadcast that video.
just audio.
All right, well, not now, though.
Yeah,
We'll
get to that.
I want to run through the whole
We'll get
thing.
to that.
So then a whole ensued. And this is nice. One patient brandishing marijuana to another. And this is allowable. I'm allowed to smell it.
You can't touch. You can't smoke
It just reminds me of that commercial about the chips, the cannibalistic chips that taste good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, the terpenes actually come off when you smell it. So
Yeah.
he's actually getting some of my medicine
Yeah.
now when he does that.
He is sharing with you right now.
Well, I won't do it anymore then. I can't do that.
You're illegally sniffing my medicine.
You should be on the ground in handcuffs.
So
Put those terpenes back.
listen, we can't digress from a digression. That's it. You know, that makes us. That's a typical pot smoking thing. You know, and I've had none today, so not yet. Well, not at all. So what happened was a whole scene ensued. It was I looked up. I saw them doing the reaching around to handcuff you, or to string your things together. It looked like the wire ties, and I knew that wasn't going to be reversible. What led to the being put down on the ground as opposed to just having your hands cuffed? Because I saw the start. I didn't see how they brought you down to the ground. Because enough people had started to gather then, and there was news media there, so they were, getting their file footage. And you were in pain, you were loud, as a patient in pain would be. Now, this isn't digressing, it's added information. It was much the way I hear patients in a hospital screaming when they're having work done on them that's for their benefit. They're already in pain, setting a broken bone or something. It was, you'd hear that. I mean, if whatever hurts a patient. And that's the first thing I thought of, because I know that I've seen you laying on the concrete in your heating pad trying to work the board by sense of touch, like the pinball wizard of
Laying on the ground with the heating pad, good. Laying
Yeah,
on
no.
on the ground with handcuffs behind my back, tight,
right, exactly,
bad.
Bad. And So anyway, my point is I was quite well aware that if on a regular day here, somebody whisked you to the ground, put a knee in your back, I guess it was, and holding everything down tight, that it would cause incredible pain. So my problem in situations like that is I tend to get emphatic as well. And because of technical difficulties with a phone that's smarter than me, I can't bring up even the audio of that. But
we'll get that.
I did come over and suggest loudly, I yelled at you, do you have your registration card? And you said, yes. I thought you said in my pocket, or they have it. They didn't have it, though, did they? When did they first see your registration
They
card?
took my wallet, which is my phone,
Yeah.
and all my stuff was in here.
So when did they actually see that you did have a registration card?
I don't know. I was on the ground screaming.
Well, they didn't look.
I don't think they looked.
Why'd they take your wallet phone?
I was filming the officer. It was on Facebook Live up until when he arrested me. So you could see the whole thing. And you could see on the timeline that it's a minute and a half before he actually arrests me from the glass breaking. So that wasn't the catalyst. The glass breaking was not the issue. As soon as I lit the joint is when he came over to me. And you can see it right here. Let's review the video. I won't have to.
Okay, we got enough basic information out to do that. But be ready to stop it and explain.
So you went to school with them. Big deal. All right, here, me and Michelle are walking from the podium. Hey, you want to get the news? Come over to you. Here, watch this. Now we're going to light a joint. Michelle and I are going to light our joints. Did I leave that? Yeah, I got it. Here we are. There's a joint in my mouth. That's it. Michelle has her joint. Okay, I'm getting my lighter. Now I have a phone in my hand, a lighter, a joint, and a jar. Look at that.
Yeah, I heard it.
This is why we don't have dispensary jars. Now, can I just say... Boy, look at that. All my cannabis is on the fucking ground now.
Stop there for
that was not a setup. Can I just say, I didn't say, in the name of cannabis freedom, I smashed this jar. There was nothing like that.
Yeah, but nobody would expect you to do that. That was looked at by the media, and some people there is, well, he must have done it as a stunt because he had his camera ready to take a picture. They didn't know you were live podcasting, and still don't. So what they saw was somebody drop a glass jar and immediately have a camera on it.
Oh, that's what they saw. Okay, now I understand why. Okay, gotcha.
People and perhaps the police hear about that, and then they see you with the camera on it. They could have thought, okay, breaking it, I got to, like you're recording a stunt. So everybody thought it was a stunt.
Interesting. I would have had more cameras on me,
though. Yeah, but no, it wasn't the more cameras. Anybody that knows you, it's a very easy defense saying, Lefty Grimes, can you imagine him purposefully throwing a bud on the ground?
A week's worth.
Amongst,
a week's worth of cannabis.
More than a stunt value. And it's like, nobody I know that knows you can get by that one and go, really? There was that much in it? Yeah, it was a waste. Yeah,
you could see the shake on the ground. Did you see the video yet, Jim? There's shake all over the ground. There's buds everywhere, which I did not get back. The officer did not secure my property, and I only get back one bud.
Not about you right now.
And the joint I got pulled out of my mouth. This is why we don't have dispensary jars. Wait, let me go back. Boy, look at that. All my cannabis is on the fucking ground. All right, this is me and Michelle walking again.
We're good? Hold on.
Oh. Look at that.
Okay, that's what.
This is why we don't have dispensary jars. Boy, look at that. All my cannabis is on the fucking ground now. That was not a setup. I did not set that up. That really just happened. This is why we have a failed program.
Now, nobody accused you.
Right?
Yeah, which...
Look at this. I did not set this up. I did not make this up.
You can't make
that
this
just
up.
happened. That actually just happened to me, man. The irony,
I got one joint.
The irony of dropping a jar of cannabis at a Cory Booker cannabis legalization rally, it's kind of ironic, and that's the first thing I thought. Like, oh, they're going to think I set this up.
Well, then, if you understand how it looks, then the optics.
Of course.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you got arrested.
Okay, so this is sort of like when I read a retraction in a paper. I wonder how many people that read what was wrong are going to read the retraction.
Correct.
So as much as we can work to make sure that this is understood. There's just going to be so many people that seen it, like Roseanne Scotti from the DPA. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm just saying that it would be understood that if this is what she thought, it's, we're not best friends anyway. I don't mean me. Our methodology, even with this, is not terribly appreciated by some in the movement. I mean, I can talk about that.
Hey, if they don't like what we're doing here,
No,
they
but-
can
well,
show up
yeah,
here every
but
week.
What are you doing?
But no, well, they're doing stuff.
What are they doing?
Well, hold on, they're doing their thing and we're doing our thing.
Oh, okay. That's,
See,
that's
but then
fine.
again,
That's
if we
fine.
don't,
And we don't diss on them.
and,
No,
and-
we don't.
And if we,
We
don't
don't.
appreciate their methodology, they wouldn't know it because
Right.
we are better at smiling at their face.
Hold on. Because we're polite.
Yeah. Well, no, they're
And we respect people that are fighting for
they've-
everyone's
you know,
rights.
it's. I don't want to say by inference that they don't. I'd rather be more direct. If that was what I thought, and I'm not saying it is. At times, that would be the perception.
When I saw the video live and all of a sudden the camera cut off, I literally, you can look and see the time I posted it. I was like, Lefty, are you doing stunts again? Because people called it a stunt when we went up on Ben Franklin Bridge.
The first thing they're going to say.
I had no idea that you got even arrested. I didn't know any of that at that point. It was the first thing I thought, though. Like, oh, they think Lefty's doing stunts already.
Of course. That's what they're going to think. That's what they're going to say.
Lefty's a stunt man.
Look
Look at that. No.
This is why we don't have dispensary jars. This is why.
That, Michelle's oh shit no makes me believe it was real.
I did not set that up. Yeah. Now, if I had talked
she
to Michelle,
certainly didn't know about it.
you know,
Well, yeah, if
And-
Lefty planned it, Michelle didn't know, and I don't believe that.
give me a break, man.
And
with
you
this.
operate pretty much as a team.
Yes,
As
we would have had a team there on camera. She would have had a camera on her.
Well, yeah, there would have been 4 cameras.
There would have been cameras
if that was
everywhere.
organized.
I was unprepared for this. My fault too, for being unprepared. I agree.
Well, I would start right with, and I'll keep getting back to it. If you'd gone up and asked an officer, and he said you can do it here or around the corner, and you could talk about, no, I don't have to do it, but that is where I will do it, because that's how
Right.
you do it on the tour.
Exactly.
You don't say where may I do it and then do it where you feel like, which is what I would have thought would have.
No, yeah, if
transpired
they're
here.
nice about it and they say go over to the tree, we go over to the tree.
Yeah.
But also educate them on the way that, well, could you look at the guidelines, and you may find that I actually just need to be 25 feet away from the door where cigarette smokers are, and wherever they're allowed to smoke, I'm allowed to smoke.
And even in Haddon Heights, we even asked like what time the elementary school kids got out and stuff, just to make sure we weren't standing there when all the kids came out.
Right.
Like we really do make an effort.
So what would have happened then is if there was a policeman there, which is the way it works. They not often they'll watch that you're going where you're supposed to go. But if you did that, and then a glass jar broke, nobody would have thought it was on purpose, because it doesn't add up. It doesn't have that optic to it. And we'll never know how it would have turned out. I tend to think that it wasn't just that it was a Cory Booker press conference, that it was State Senator Nick Scutari, the author of our legalization and our medical marijuana bill 10 years ago.
The man who wrote the bill that says you have to have that jar in your hand at all times.
Right. Well, that would happen during the regulations, but he took part in them too. I mean, he's well aware of all the regulations. It would have been an incredible example without it being that kind of scene, to be able to just report back and say, here's 5 minutes of consolidated footage I have from the event. We'd like somebody from Senator Scutari's office to look at this, please. They would have looked at it, and it would have been a request that it might be better for you than us to approach State Attorney General Christopher Burrini. And he would probably rather have approached him. We might have had Nick Scutari talking to the State Attorney General and saying, I'd like you to watch this, Mr. Attorney General, and worked it out, but I don't want him to watch that.
You know what scares me more than anything? That A, they left your cannabis on the ground. A Schedule 1 drug was left on the ground.
Well, I didn't know that.
And B, Lefty got into a jail cell with a camera.
No, it wasn't actually a cell, was it? Was it a cell?
Yeah, it was a jail cell.
They literally locked Lefty up with a weapon.
Yeah, it could have been a grenade. Could have been a
You
gun.
could have beat someone with that camera.
Yeah. So I got filmed from inside the jail. So the Linden just looks really bad. They really need to.
These are the people that are
training.
paid with our tax dollars.
Okay, now once we get into the nuts and bolts of this
let's
actual
get back.
thing, it'll start to look bad how they performed. But it's the perception of all the people that aren't going to hear us go through that. It's the retraction in a paper that nobody really reads.
Can I be very, very literal for a moment? All the people that hear
literally, yes.
All the people that hear the first story and think Lefty's an asshole.
Yeah.
Sorry for my language, but then don't care enough to look in the real story. I don't care about any of them.
Well, see, but people don't. They don't check up on story. They don't.
Those are the sheep. I don't have time
right.
for.
Yeah, I'm done with sheep.
Well,
Getting
when
blocked.
when was the last time I checked up on news? I didn't check up on it.
Here you are. You know.
Jim,
it.
you're here.
I took this straight off the internet. I don't know if NBC News got any of this right. This is what NBC News reported.
And if you're trusting NBC News for all your reality, then you're one of the sheep too.
I'm not all
blocking
my
you, Jim.
reality.
You're being blocked.
First of all,
blocked after the show.
And anybody that thinks it's all or nothing, I don't need to have the discussion with, because it's never left, it's never right, it's always somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's the gray area.
This side or that, it's never. I've never been 100% right.
It's always in the
There's
gray.
always something, you know.
And it's the people that live in the black and white that I can't have time with.
Murder is always bad. Well, if you had a deal where 10 people were together and they had to kill one, they'd all go free, otherwise they all die, how bad is it? I mean, in other words, you're saving 9 lives.
So a man is beating his children every day. Kill his ass.
I'm just saying that it's not going to be black and white ever. And that I'm reading news stories, and I correct them on the comment section when it was referred to as shattered his glass
Vial.
jar on a vial. Well, whatever they called it, shattered it. I had to write back to them by way of Facebook comment, which they do read, and explain that it wasn't, you know. And but we can't. It's not just a retraction we can put out, and everybody that saw it's going to read it. It would have been a better story reading Nick Scutari getting in touch with that, and Cory Booker saying, "Can I come on your podcast? That was wrong." Now, you know. And I didn't matter. I didn't tell him that part yet. I did reach out to who I met from his office, and it wasn't like I had to say to him, "Could I have your card so I want to talk to you later about something." He was the one. Can I please have? Do you have a card? Do you have one? Yeah. Could I have it? Yeah. Normally it's not. There are people asking for my card with enthusiasm. So then I did tell him I'll be in touch in just a couple of days. There is something I want to talk to you about. And that was about the attending one of the Mill Hill Park events, because it is so.
Saturday's first one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of short notice. On the other hand, it is his whirlwind tour trying to promote this. He's going to do as much as he can for this bill to get back to Washington in 3 weeks and start looking for co-sponsors. And he introduced us without co-sponsors. Do you know how rare that is? Normally, that's not perceived as a hopeful thing.
I'd like to see like the Oregon and the Washington and the Colorado boys get up on co-sponsors there. They should be helping us, I think.
Well, okay. Well,
what's that? Blumenthal and Rohrbacher, those guys.
The way that they the reason why do we have a bill with no co-sponsors? It's not going to get passed. It's for discussion.
Well,
it's
so
what we're doing
we're
now.
keeping it live in the mainstream.
Who here, and I haven't, has gotten in touch with Senator Menendez asking for his co-sponsorship?
Here in down in Camden, I have letters back from him.
No, I mean since this bill was introduced.
Oh, since it was introduced now.
It was introduced, so people all across the country get in touch with their senators asking for co-sponsorship and saying why not when they don't, to get them on record, to force them into the discussion. But that's what we, the cannabis community, the activists, need to do. This is for us to lobby for support. Well, it's not for Cory Booker to lobby for support. He needs us to do that. When I say us, I mean the people you're talking about, where they have senators who should pile on this bill. So if we know people in Colorado, we have to get on them.
That's a good call.
And we know people in California, we got to get on them. And say, if you're not going to ask, could you at least write an email and I'll hand deliver it to their office in Washington? I do that. I'll go down one time. It's what I do. I get letters from people, and I go down there, and I hand deliver them. And it's fun, because even if they won't, when I walk in the office and say, I'd like to talk to you about Cory Booker's Marijuana Justice Act, they say, are you a constituent? And I say, no. Then they tell me that they can only deal with their constituents because they're so busy and backlogged. And I take out a letter from a constituent, and I say, but I have a letter from a constituent. He lives, and I say where he lives and his name. And the first thing he says is, as a constituent, I'd like my constituent request to be that you talk to Jim Miller when he hand delivers this to you at your Washington, D.C. office. So I say, now this is the request from a constituent. If you want to deny his request, I'll have time real quick to go to a whole bunch more. So it doesn't matter to me either way. But I'm going to have to make notes and keep a record because there is interest in how this works, you know. It puts them on the spot, and it does work.
We should get together like 50 of those letters, and then all of us go down to D.C. and do that.
Well, I've gone down with Larry Varga. We did that for post-traumatic stress when National Institute on Drug Abuse was not releasing the marijuana for FDA study. And visits I made, and one with Jim Price, I dropped off talked with 39 people, not just dropped off the letters, had discussions ranging from full discussion to at least having somebody to talk to real quick. Never did I get asked to leave an office without talking to somebody.
No, you get some acknowledgement at least, and at least then the words are there. You know?
I'm sorry, there was one. Had blonde hair pulled back so tight it looked like, well, she's going to pitch a softball to me or something at me, you know? And all I could do is, I'm not being distracted making notes here, but there's some media interest in how this works out. I already have your card. Would it be fair to say that you're frowning and glaring at me over the top of your glasses? Even more so now, you know, and it's just sort of, it gives you that kind of upper hand for a little bit when you represent a constituent, and you know what's going to happen. You know they're going to say no. I want to have a conversation one time just because I walked in and I say, the Senate vote affects me in New Jersey. You know, I try that, and then they say, be that as it may, if it's not coming from a, yes it is, you know.
Lefty, are you allowed out of the state now that you've been arrested?
I think they prefer him to be. I think he had to pay 10% more because he wouldn't leave. You know.
I think stoner field trip to D.C., I think we need to plan that. Jeff Sessions needs a visit, too.
Well, okay, by the way, it is fun visiting throwaway office. I went into Congressman Souter's office, and I kept calling him Souter. And the guy kept saying Souter. I mean, he did it 6 times in a conversation. Souter. But what I did is I did it during a recess where the congressman wasn't there. It was in Washington. And the head honcho was holding court in the office. He was sitting, and there's 3 or 4 people around him standing. And when I walked in, and you could tell who the guy I wanted to talk to was. And as I spoke, and he looked, and he stood up. And I told him what it was about, and he started looking down. He looked away from me. And the second that he looked down, I squatted down, looked up at him, didn't stop talking, and looked at him from where he was looking. And then as I slowly stood up, his gaze stayed on me all the way up. And I said, hey, I got to tell you right now, man, if you're going to be like this, you got to grow a thicker skin. You got to be able to look at somebody while you're being wrong, you know. So you get to have a throwaway.
Jim Miller stunt.
You get to have a throwaway. Well, no, I was backhanding him in front of people he wants respect from in his own office, and when I'm telling him he doesn't have thick skin, yeah, it was for them, not really him. You know, I'm pretty controlled. You know, the time a guy told me when I was picketing Democratic Ocean County headquarters on Election Day about 8 years ago. The guy that in charge got all upset at me, and it came out, and I'll say effing, but you know what I mean. He goes, why don't you get a effing job? You are so effing pitiful. So effing pitiful. And he's in my face. And all I could think of is, got to stay calm like Ron White. Why, he popped in my head. So I morphed into Ron White, and when he finished that, so effing pitiful, I went, that must be just like looking into a mirror for you. You know, it was fun when you're the right. You don't have to be angry. You can just have fun with it. You know, unless you're hurt, then you get to be angry.
Well, yeah, unless you're just handcuffed and folded over on the sidewalk.
I didn't mean to hijack the conversation that hijacked the conversation.
We like that.
Digress
Triple
from the
tangent.
digression.
Yeah.
Triple tangent.
So where
with a
were
gym
we?
stunt.
Well, we were okay. No, you played at it. It's pretty clear, I think, that you didn't do it on purpose. You're not that good at stunts. You're totally transparent when you do things.
No, yeah, we do not organize ourselves that well.
We don't organize anything that well.
Never at all.
All right, let's break the glass and see how long it takes for the cop to come after me after I break the glass. Let's see. Here we go.
Look at that.
I don't see any cops around here.
This is why we don't have dispensary jars. This is why. Look at that. All my cannabis is on the fucking ground now. That was not a setup. I did not set that up. That really just happened. This is why we have a failed program in New Jersey.
Dost
Now
thou
I got to take my
profess
cannabis out of the
too
glass.
loudly that it's not a
Look at this. I
setup?
did not set this up. I did not make this up.
You can't make
that
this
just
up.
happened. That actually just happened to me, man. I got one joint left now. This sucks. I got one joint. I am not smoking.
Are you
that
timing
shit.
it?
I am not smoking.
It's a minute and a half.
Look at it. Look at that.
No, I mean, it's going to be a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's been 30
Now,
seconds.
if I had a bag,
30 seconds.
like a normal person, like a human being, like a bag.
Sorry,
like
a little loud there.
For 30 years, I had a bag. I never had a jar in my life.
little excited
I'd be
here.
okay, but now I got a friggin' jar to deal with.
No, you don't.
Jar.
He just dropped a big jar.
Not no
Now
more.
look, you can see.
Oh,
Shit.
yeah, there's a bud there. Yeah,
Where's that guy with the
Yeah.
camera right there? That guy has video.
Where's bud? Oh man. I don't have a jar anymore. I can get arrested.
Yo, I can get arrested now
Yes,
because
you
I don't
are
have
about
a
to.
dispensary jar. All right, let's see
No,
if I get
you're right
arrested.
by the news van, right? Is that what that is?
Yes. And here I am lighting my joint.
That's where people do
All right, you want my
stunts.
jar? My jar's right here, sir.
Now, when I lit my joint,
My jar's
1,
here.
2, 3,
What do you want from
4,
me?
5, 6.
Here are you making a
7,
scene. I didn't mean to
8,
make a scene.
9,
You're
10,
about,
I really should
you're
run.
about 12 now.
13.
That was a total accident. That was
that was total accident.
19, 20.
I don't know what to do.
22, 23, 24.
I don't know what to do.
25. Boom.
Yeah, this is my.
25 seconds. That's
Yeah, I
more
had no-
reasonable.
and I had no idea what happened right there. I was
That's-
like, wait, what happened?
That's when I started watching then, right when they were, they instantly put your hands behind your back.
Yes. And I was on the ground at that point.
Okay. But you don't remember how they led you to the ground?
No,
I
they took the
didn't see
joint
that.
out of my mouth.
But how
So
did they, was it a slow force down? Was it a body slam?
I need video, but I remember having a spasm, and that's why I was smoking my joint, because of my spasticity. I didn't get to smoke my joint. He pulled the joint from my mouth as I was trying to use my medication.
Yeah.
Now, Kuma 1-1, if just glancing at Kuma, just a basic glance,
Well,
you'd look
yeah.
at 1-1 and say, oh, maybe I can't do that. But obviously, they didn't look at 1-1, Kuma.
Well, I'd say he has somewhat of a right and a duty to grab that from you till he finds out that you have a card. He has to give it right back.
What if I was having a seizure?
Definitely not.
No, Jim. If I was having a drop seizure, I could be dead right now. I could be dead.
The law states if the police officer smells cannabis, then he has to ask for your
Right.
identification. Are you a
Right.
legal patient? Yes, I am. And
the
here's
law
your
that
card.
they don't know about, because which is the premise of the
Yeah.
ignorance is no excuse tour.
Yes.
So it's well known that they're not going to know.
Why in
I
a
mean,
free
we
country?
know they're not going to know
We have a free country
because
here.
it's not right.
Life, liberty,
'Cause
and
it's
the
not
pursuit of
fair.
happiness.
It's not fair.
And the police state their reaction is tackle the disabled
Right.
sick person,
Yes.
Yeah.
then ask questions.
Double victimized me. My medicine's on the ground. He should be helping me find my medicine. It's on the ground. Schedule 1 drug
Okay,
for
now
children
devil's-
to get a hold
devil's
of.
It's so
advocate, he-
dangerous, the cannabis, that he has to take the cannabis out of the patient's mouth, but he leaves it on the ground
How
for
long-
children.
For the children.
How long did you till you identified yourself as a patient?
Immediately.
You can hear him saying it as he's getting tackled.
I was screaming it, Jim, screaming it. In my bitchiest voice ever.
Lefty, I'm glad to know my future millionaire friend.
No. This is not, we're just going to educate the police. We're going to educate them.
The fact that you could sue them will make them have to deal with you.
If you can't lead this to the Attorney General's office, I will be genuinely disappointed in you.
Yeah, no, so will I.
No, I mean, if that isn't the main goal, okay, this
Yeah,
is the
this is
vehicle to get it to the Attorney General's
it's
office.
at the Cory Booker event, and the cop is hunting someone and then tackles a legal cannabis patient.
What we have is an opportunity,
To educate.
but not for us to go to the Attorney General. We have an opportunity to see if Senator Scutari would do this, because he's the proper one to do it. We have the Linden police. They should be the ones to say, Why didn't we know about this? And then the Attorney General can say, you had it sent to you, and then they can say, but we use that for like cat litter boxes. We don't look at these things. They can go back and forth between us. It's not up to us to do that at this point, I think.
I'd like to hear a response from the chief of the Linden Police about how his police officer reacted and acted, tackling a patient, not paying attention that he's a patient, letting him in the jail cell with a camera. Like, this is a joke. Are you kidding me? These are the people that we're paying? We're paying these people?
But what's the end result? That's just bitching. What's the end result? What do we want?
Education.
No, what do we want?
I want the police to start acting like protect and serve public servants, not like criminals and terrorists.
Yeah, I was terrified.
But then,
if a police officer took a joint out of my mouth, I would have attacked.
Stop when I say stop. Come on. I'm trying to get somewhere here. We're not just sitting around going, it's not fair, it's not fair. We do more than that. You know that. You've identified the problem. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, so what do we do now? But we can't go, okay, now the end result we want is we want them to stop. How do we jump from this to them stopping because of this? This is what we need. This is our plan.
The only way that I know is to file a proper lawsuit, because that's the only thing that does anything in this country, but I don't like to do that stuff.
That's one thing. And
I show up and smoke weed outside their door.
Smoke cannabis at the Linden Police Station where there's a low ceiling. The smoke will actually stay in that parking lot if there's enough patients in there. And legally, we're allowed to do that.
But what does that get us?
Attention, and I want to talk to the chief.
Well, you already got attention.
I want to talk to the chief. I want to educate the chief about his officers.
I would think you should put in a formal request to talk to the chief then. Have you done that?
Let's do that right now.
No, don't do it right now. It's part of a stunt. Come on, man. You can't say it wasn't a stunt during a stunt.
Stunts work.
But Jim says, what are we doing? Then Lefty says, let's do it. And Jim says, no.
No, I said, let's not do it as a stunt. Did you not hear that, Tony?
But
I didn't say that. See, now you are like the fake news. You're culling some part out, and you're leaving the stunt part out. That's what the news is doing.
But why shouldn't we?
What the news is doing to Lefty, you're doing right now to me.
It's an excellent example.
It's exactly the same thing.
Why shouldn't the listeners know what's going on? They should know. I think we should call on the air. I think we should call Cory Booker's office on the air, too. And I want to apologize to Cory Booker.
No, come on, man.
I want to apologize to him.
Not on the air. It's going to be knee-jerk reaction. Seriously, don't do it. Don't do it. Not on the.
We should smoke a joint first and then talk about it. Let's plan for once.
Unless you can make a case for it being the best way to approach him, it'll be a stunt.
Okay.
And I don't think it's the best way to approach him. I think me getting in touch with Charles Booker, the person that asked me to get in touch with him, and explaining this to him where he doesn't have a knee-jerk reaction, where we don't put him on the spot.
Well, yeah, he's not live. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. You do the front door.
Yeah.
Like you always do. It's
but
fine.
Make sure by tonight, send me a quick text.
Yeah, see, that's the difference with us, Jim. I don't ever get any front door business. I have to always go to the back door.
Yeah, you know who I am. Jim, I got your Facebook account up, but it says to log in. Can you log in?
Yeah.
Let's try that. I just had you up here.
Want my password?
No, not on the air. Right here. Right here.
Okay. Microphone.
Give that shot. Okay. Let's get you logged in, because I'd love to hear the video of me screaming like a little bitch. I did scream like a little bitch, didn't I, Jim? Jim, did you watch me screaming? No, you didn't even see it. You didn't hear it.
Well, I can't split my.
No, I'm sorry, Jim Wayne. Jim Wayne.
That's right. We got the Jims here.
You got the Jims
today.
here. Yeah, I screamed like a little bee, didn't I? Did you see me? Nah, I was screaming like a little girl. It was sad.
I probably would have thrown a punch. I'm glad I wasn't there.
Well, I'm looking at the cop's boots, and I'm sitting there on the ground looking at his boots. I'm like, should I lick him? Should I just be a bootlicker and lick him? I was in licking distance.
Was when you were medicating afterwards, was that the same officer that threw you to the ground?
No.
Oh, no.
No, he was the jailhouse officer.
He was not very happy.
He's like, you guys can smoke weed here? Like, yeah.
I honestly, Lefty.
That was the best part of the whole
video to
me.
If I was Lefty and I was standing on that sidewalk that day and exactly what happened to you happened to me, I would be filing assault charges on that officer.
That's what I would have wound up in the hospital and let.
I would have been in a fist fight. I would have been in jail, and I would have been in the hospital.
Well, that may happen.
Very unfriendly I am when someone yanks my medicine out of my face and tackles me.
You know, and not for nothing, I'm getting it up. But the biggest strides that Gandhi made were when he realized what the world media was, that in the 30s, late 1930s, it was newsreels, and they might play them before a movie as a thing. That's how you got out to the world. So his stunt was for him and a bunch of his people to approach the British, where they said, you can't be here. And they refused to go and got the crap beat out of them, and the world saw it, and it changed history. Gandhi, the peace, but if they brought their own bats and sticks, it never would have happened. When I saw water cannons and dogs as a kid in the 1960s in civil rights protests, even as a little kid, it horrified me that the police would do that. And what they weren't doing was coming back at them. They were just getting hosed down the road, dogs on them, and that's all I saw. And it wasn't that they were afraid to push back. They were so unafraid they walked straight into it.
They knew it was coming, and that's the problem with what happened to Lefty is I didn't see it coming, and I would have reacted differently.
We haven't seen Laura Carter's
Oh my goodness.
Very New Child, and if I look totally distracted, I got to give this a couple of seconds.
Yeah, we're distracted now. Sorry.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think babies are cute, but no, I'm serious.
Babies are cute.
But I'm just saying. The reason I say that is I'm looking up and I am captivated by how cute she is.
She looks like her daddy.
Give her a mic.
Well, Jason isn't cute.
Aw. Give the baby a mic too.
Yeah.
Oh, what a cutie.
New Jersey's youngest cannabis activist.
She is.
Now, don't drop the baby. You will be arrested.
Yeah, really. That is not a glass jar.
Yeah, please don't fall, baby. That's all we need.
How's it going, Laura?
It's great.
Nice.
It's great. I'm back. She's almost 6 weeks old. I kind of had to take, July off. I mean, off as in, planning a whole event this weekend, the Trenton Cannabis and Community Awareness event.
Yes.
That's happening Saturday. So
at 420 at Mill Hill Park, downtown Trenton, but you can get there earlier than that.
Yeah, sure, come.
It's a park. Bring a frisbee. We'll be on the other side of the amphitheater throwing some frisbee for a while.
Yeah. So we're really excited about that.
Billy's going to be there. We're going to have a frisbee catch.
Yep.
There. What is it? How does this work out? Every time we're at a podcast, I go, I wish Ken Wolski was here, and he walks up. I mentioned frisbee, and somebody's here with a frisbee. What the hell's going on?
You're magical.
I know, I am.
That's how it happens.
It looks like Billy's frisbee too. Same size. You get a little one. I'm sorry. I'll get this back up. But
did you have any luck with that phone?
No,
he didn't get it.
A
cute baby distracted
What are you gonna
me,
do?
and I can honestly say I've never in my life said a cute baby distracted me because, seriously.
She looks like her daddy.
I see. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, I do. I see it. Oh man. Well, anyway, let me take myself out of this so I can get this back up.
Sweet. What's the baby's name?
Sydney Renee.
Sydney Renee.
Yeah, we were gonna call her Indica, but
That would work. No?
I think it might have been too far on the activism side.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when she's like 12, she'll be like, Ma, a little much on the activism,
It's a little much.
All the kids at school want to know
Mary
about Indica
Jane.
now. My friend Sativa wants to know all about you.
We would hope.
Well, so this park is going to be bouncing this weekend, huh?
Yeah, so right now we have the ACLU will be out speaking, Help Not Handcuffs will be out, the Green Party, the Women's Veteran Collective, of course, will be there.
Nice.
Minorities for Medical Marijuana, will be there.
Nice.
Mr. Jim
Well, I'm
will
going to be there. And thing is, I'm more known as having a history with medical marijuana. But I got to tell you, I think the event actually relates to that because we should have had an event like that before medical marijuana, because medical marijuana in New Jersey, when you look at the boards of the people who are at dispensaries and the people who are taking part, it's a very white crowd taking part. It is not very diverse at all.
Right.
I mean, I'm not talking about employees. the employing hiring practices are pretty across the board, but and that's not specifically what I would want to be dealing with there then. I just think this is not only a great event, but it's exactly the kind of thing I'm hoping Cory Booker would like to attend the second one. He's not going to go to a first one on a couple days' notice. I'm getting that feeling. But I did get good contact at the press conference on Friday. When I say good contact, somebody asked me for my contact.
Nice.
From that's more proactive on their part. I do think that it's something. I'd be surprised if he didn't attend the second one. When is the second one? Do you know?
September 10th.
Right. Okay. That's he'll be back in Washington, but he's not in Washington on Saturday.
Right.
So it's a good. He should hopefully will be able to attend. And I got to tell you, even if he can't, it's like I do when I'm looking for a meeting. If he can't, I would be asking for somebody from his staff to come represent him.
I think too for our group, it's important that even though that we think we're going to legalize next year, we can't forget the medical aspect of it and
right.
still keep educating the people. Like one of the things that even the Women's Veteran Collective that we were speaking about is that PTSD is not just for vets. People think that only vets have PTSD, and that's not the case.
And people who are civilians think that that's also
it's
voice of
it's a vet thing.
And I had to explain to them, well, it is, because vets are going to get the doors open. It was the same thing with children. If could be children and vets. Right. Together, like vets with PTSD with children, that would have had no choice. But it was, and they did understand that right now there are so many more civilians, lifelong civilians and veterans who have cards in New Jersey, and it's nice, And a firefighter that came to our coalition meeting. He says it was post-traumatic stress from 9/11. I think he might have then been in New York. I don't know which, but he lives in New Jersey now, and he has things going on. But he was so thankful that it was for post-traumatic stress, and I need to hear that. When I hear, it's not because I want to pat myself on the back or go good for it. It's like, why am I still doing this? Why am I still doing this? It's because of that. It's because when I meet somebody that has benefited from it, it's worth everything, man. It really is. I'll get this up for you so you can at least
You didn't get it up yet.
See yourself.
You were trying to find the video.
I'm absolutely distracted. No, once I...
There's video of me being on the ground begging for my medicine because the police took the medicine from my mouth.
Yeah, so I was watching. I watched when you dropped the jar.
Oh, okay, you saw that.
So I was watching while you
Did you think I did it on purpose?
No, I know you didn't.
Okay.
First of all, that is medicine.
I know, right?
Who wants to drop their weed?
No.
and knowing Lefty, it's like, some people might, the ones that have a big jar at home. But
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. From your video, it just ended abruptly, and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened?
Yeah. What do you think happened? I was on the ground.
Yeah, what happened?
Quickly on the ground.
Yeah. So no, that's terrible.
They chained me to a hospital bed.
Oh, this is all different. Now. This something's so wrong.
Chained like a terrorist. I was chained to a bed.
Yeah, and then I saw your video too when you were smoking outside the police station.
Mm-hmm, yeah. As soon as we get out, we're smoking. I'm like, okay, I just got arrested for this. Now we're gonna smoke it. Now what? You gonna arrest me again? Revolving door. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Like, okay, better things to do in Linden? No, I guess not. Let's go victimize a patient who just dropped all his medicine on the ground. My medicine's on the ground. I need help.
What are we gonna do about these glass jars?
I don't have it. It's all gone.
What do you mean?
I have no pictures.
Oh, it's in your pictures?
I swipe and it's
Facebook?
on the other side of it. No, it's not on Facebook. I didn't put it on Facebook.
Oh, it's on your...
It turns out, I'm thinking it was just on my phone. I don't believe but I don't know why I would have no pictures at all. I have no pictures I have stored on my phone. They're all gone. It's just not going to show up, and it's taking my pictures with it. This is just getting worse. I don't have my stored pictures on that phone.
You have no videos.
And?
Well, I should. And it's going to say no pictures because otherwise I'd be there when I swipe it.
You have nothing.
I didn't delete everything. This phone is going to get so spectacularly destroyed. I'll be taking suggestions and comments for a month. I've got a new phone coming in. Get my little chip out of there. And it's not going to be a hammer or a brick or dropping from a railer or a car running over it. It's going to be an explosion. It's going to be a microwave. You know, what happens when you microwave a phone? I don't think that's spectacular enough. But then I could also crush it after that. It's just been, and it's not me. It's the phone. Well, so new answer to the question, no, apparently I don't have video of that.
Wow. Nobody has video.
Well, but this is the first that's ever
But
happened.
I thought that I thought somebody went live on Instagram with it.
Was it
Tatiana?
Maybe.
That's what I heard.
I didn't see her video.
I didn't either.
I didn't see it on there, on her Instagram. I'm looking for video. I need video.
Well, I had some. It wasn't my fault. I don't know what happened.
Maybe Vanessa has some.
She was somebody else that I thought saw
Yeah.
that said that they had it.
I just need a couple of minutes of me screaming for my medicine. Because they kept it from me for 2 hours. They would not let me use my medicine, which is just ridiculous. Because I could be dead if I was a seizure patient.
This is so not right. I don't like getting bad news on air. I have a lot of important pictures there that I still wanted. I hadn't transferred.
On Facebook or no?
No, just on my camera. You know, I don't get them onto my my saved pictures because I don't know how to do that.
I'm having issues with this microphone, but I'm gonna try to work it out. Oh, I have good news.
Just pull it.
I have good news.
Pull it off if you want.
Just
Go ahead.
So the Women's Veteran Collective, our 5013C was just approved. So we are officially a nonprofit.
Really good. That's important.
It really is.
Yeah, it'll help you get in some doors, and you know things are just easier for a nonprofit. So how Saturday the weather's questionable.
We've been watching it very closely. It started out this week that it said it was 50% chance of afternoon thunder showers, but it looks like now it's not supposed to rain till 1 a.m.
Really?
So, who knows? They get the weathermen are not very reliable. So, we are going to talk about the team tonight. We're going to talk about a plan B. So hopefully, if something,
Just pull the mic off. Yeah. There you go.
if we do have rain, then hopefully we'll be able to have another location. So we're going to work on that tonight.
Well, I'll bring the. It won't help much, but I'll have the tent top with me, so in case it's not raining and there's anything, if it did rain that need to be kept dry, it could start out under this. Sounded like thunder.
It did.
Say frisbee, a frisbee show me falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
A big joint rolling down the sidewalk.
We have another story to cover. Our good friend Chuck Kwiatkowski
What's up with that?
is having his card pulled by the state.
Yeah. But where was that report from that he posted that I saw?
He's home, but he was in some facility that kept him for cannabis abuse. Cannabis abuse. I never heard that before.
Delusional due to cannabis.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I read that.
Yeah.
That I can get him.
Yeah, so we need to talk to Chucky and find out what the hell is going on because they can't take his card away. He has MS. He has multiple sclerosis. He needs his endocannabinoid system.
But see, what I read sounds like that would be a danger to him. I mean, not.
Yeah.
I mean, I know better. I'm always talking in terms of optics for other people.
Let me find it here. Hold on. Give me a second. I got it.
It's just so terrible that anytime something happens to someone and something comes up, it's always blamed on cannabis. And it's not the case. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, well, this one sounded like official, like it was an evaluation from a medical facility.
Oh, yeah.
Which, Yeah, there's going to have to be some issue taken with that. Yeah, this is really something I'd have to go through. I don't even have my Facebook icon up here anymore. Is this my phone?
That's terrible.
One time I had picked up somebody else's flip phone at a family function where there's about 15 people, exactly like mine. And then my cousin was trying to find her phone, so she had brother call it. And we were in a big house on the beach. It was a family outing for a week. And I was walking down the stairs. My phone rang, and I looked at it, and I say, I don't know that phone number. I'm not going to answer it. My brother is walking in front of me with a phone, and he going, nobody's answering. So I heard it because I don't know who it is, and I'm here, nobody's answering. And I say, it's the same. It's not my phone. That was embarrassing. That was pretty bad because I had it. I couldn't figure it. And this one's mine, though.
It says here, cannabis abuse with psychotic disorder with delusions and cannabis use disorder.
Okay, the delusions part. Did Chuck say what that was about?
No, we need to ask him what the hell's going on because
Give him a call.
This is crazy.
Does he know you're going to give him a call?
Yeah. Chucky.
Is he still delusional?
Well, he did start the INE tour with me.
Hi, this is Chuck. I'm sorry I can't take your call right now. Please leave your name and I'll get back to you.
Beep, 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 beep. Chucky, it's Lefty. Give me a call. We're on the air right now. I want to talk to you about losing your card. I can't believe you lost your card for being, let's see, it says cannabis abuse with psychotic disorder with delusions, and then cannabis use disorder. Chucky, I smoke more cannabis than you, so I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
He's more delusional, too.
Well, you did start the INE tour with me, so yeah, I guess we were both a little delusional at some point in our lives.
Well, we'll talk to him.
Yeah, Chucky, you need to call me. I want to help you get your card back because you need your card. For them to take your card away, it just shows their ignorance.
Well, we got questions, too, though.
Yeah.
You can't just
all right,
hear one side of any story.
Who took your card? Why did they take your card?
And why were you being examined for delusion by anybody? What led to that?
Yeah.
And probably other stuff that'll come up. Is this still part of his message?
Yeah, we're going to leave him a nice long message like we always do. We always do.
Yeah, but he's not going to listen to this part. He's going to have already hung up.
Let's find out together.
What's up, Chuck?
Yes, please. Thank you. So, Chucky, we love you. I hope you're doing better, man. And let's go do a tour soon before you lose your card. Did they take your card yet, or are you still legal? What's the story?
They didn't take it yet.
Yeah, still.
No, that's the assumption. And probably an accurate or well-founded assumption at the very least. Let me read about this for a second.
All right, well.
That's how I roll, dude.
Chucky's a great guy.
He's one of a kind.
Yeah, nobody makes him like that anymore.
Yeah. No, I got to tell you, he's I've known him for a long time. And I think his real claim to fame was his testimony made Senator Burrini, Republican on the Health Committee back in 2009, made him cry and support it. I mean, he put his heads down when he was apologized to and this is the tough bill. And it was, the reason I know it was his testimony is because he said, when a man can't even give his daughter a piggyback ride because it hurts too much, there's things we can do. We need, So he cited that, and then when he was done, he just put his head down on his arms, and he was crying, Of course, now he's in trouble for the Bridgegate thing, but be that as it may. Actually,
at one point, he was a good guy.
The reason he got transferred he got offered that job at 3 times his pay as a senator. Oh,
wow, that was a long message.
Chucky, 908-616-0682, 908-616-0682. See you later.
I think the beep means he's not hearing that.
10 seconds.
Your recording has reached the maximum length. To replay your
got it down to a
message, press
science.
1.
Because
To
he does
delete
this
and
all the
re-record your
time.
message, press
He's left more long messages than
Yes, I
anybody,
do.
probably. I never got to the end like that, you know.
Can we call the police chief now? No.
I thought you can do
Are we
it.
doing-
It's your
we
deal
doing
with
that?
them. I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't
I'll have
matter
to
to
talk to
me,
him.
but it just seems like that's if you're gonna say it's not a stunt, you can't make it appear like you're saying that during a stunt, and calling on the air as opposed to off the air to give them a chance to talk, and you know.
That's
That's
not
no
as fun.
fun.
I know it's no fun. I'm part of it. I want it to be fun too.
It
But,
doesn't put. I like him on the spot because they put me on the spot for years. My whole life, I've been on the spot.
Could I tell you how many things in my whole life I've done relating to cannabis that wasn't fun? I think most. If I just did the fun
I know,
stuff, we wouldn't get shit
and
done.
now it's our turn.
Well, I mean, I like having fun too. I like fun.
Hold on. Pick up a microphone because I can't hear you without a microphone. So there you go. All right. What? That's Greg Allman.
He's asking if it's you. Are you Greg Allman?
No, I'm not Greg Allman. Oh man.
Oh, well, you know,
Oh man.
and Willie Nelson, when you listen to him, you ever listen to Willie Nelson while you high all up?
When you're high all up, do you listen to Willie Nelson?
When I'm high all up,
I listen to him when I'm not.
man, I listen to him all the time. I love Willie Nelson. What's that song he's got now? Dead again. I'm not dead again today.
He's got roll me up.
I'm
and
not dead again.
He's roll me up and smoke me when I die.
You know where a person can get his music from?
iTunes.
Yeah, iTunes.
Well, you know, when I get myself together, I'm gonna buy all his music.
You could probably
When
get it
I
for
get
like
myself
$5 at
together,
Walmart.
I'm just saying, you never know when you're gonna get yourself together.
Yeah. Put that up. I can't hear you. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And you never know what can happen in New Jersey. You know about that.
That's right. You know it.
Uh,
He's playing New Jersey soon, ain't he? Ain't he coming? He's coming to town.
I gotta be there.
Yeah.
But
I get a deal for him. I got to, and I can get it to him. I've always said that if he's going to play New Jersey, he's had trouble on the tour bus with smoking and all. And suppose he was like saying at Count Basie Theater or something like that, because he's played there before. The bus is like when you walk by, if the window's open, you're going to smell it and all. And I have a cure for that. The cure is I'll bring enough smoke for you and your bandmates if I can come smoke it with you on your bus.
Yeah.
And then if somebody notices there's smoking going on the bus,
Give 'em a jar.
you all point to me.
Yeah, give him a jar.
And I go,
It works.
I go, it's me, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Give him a jar, and then that's it.
I don't even touch your jars, man.
Yeah, don't. I
Could
just
fall off the table and break, you know? Go ahead, throw that thing
I will.
down now. I'll show you a
Watch
stunt.
this. Watch this.
Is it?
I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop my jar. Watch. Here we go. I'm gonna watch. Here we go.
Oh, no.
I just dropped it.
See,
Is that
I
one of
just
the glass ones?
Yes. I just
Yeah.
dropped it. Here, I'll drop it again. Here.
That's
here.
so terrible.
Ready? Ready? Here we
Yeah, I
go.
don't-
He's always with the stunts.
That was a stunt. I just dropped my jar as a stunt.
That's the whole point. You can't have a stunt while you're saying what you did wasn't a stunt.
But it wasn't a
you
stunt.
realize how that doesn't help.
But
right?
did they realize I have no cameras on me? If that was a stunt, it would have
Okay,
been
first of all, if you do anything based on a premise that somebody will realize something, that's risky right there, because people can be a lot more obtuse than I think at times. You know, it's sort of like, well, I've known rocks that were smarter than that. You know, it's You know, we assume people know that there's a law, and I found out then I was being told by the one hard ass in the crowd that was, it's just a stunt. So I talked with him for a while. Michelle talked with him for a little while. And, you know, once he got to the part, there's no law. There's no law. I'm like, well, man, I can't have a conversation with you then.
There's no law.
Yeah, at one point the police let him away from me because he was getting like really in my space.
And
You
we
know,
need
have-
film of all this.
Yeah.
Where's all the video of this? No video.
I cannot believe you did that in front of a news van with news, and they got file footage.
Of course they do. How do I
Yeah.
get that?
No, you can't
You're
get
never
the
gonna
file
get
footage.
that.
You're never going to get file footage from anybody ever.
Wait, but you said that they have body cameras?
Yeah, we're getting those, hopefully.
No, not hopefully. Them, you have a right to. Matter of fact, I have a right to it. I was just reading about that with the body cameras. They have to be on during any event like that. and it'll pick up, I think, 30 seconds before you turn it on. In other words, it has a way to start 30 seconds before.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and that this is public information, that they can't keep it private, body camera stuff. Unless it has to, in other words, if it was a manslaughter thing or something really important, the rules may not apply to that, but you should be able to get video. I cannot believe I've never lost pictures. This thing is just, it's like it's been hijacked or something like that. I didn't put it in airplane mode. It's on airplane mode. I didn't, get rid of my connection that you got back on, and then when it's back on, I have no pictures stored. Not good.
It happens. I lost film. It happens.
I just called out all the ones I wanted to throw away, and I had so many. Well, I'd say that'll teach.
We're going to pray for your phone.
Yes.
We will.
It's too late for my phone. It's got a terminal illness, and I'm going to put it out of its misery when I get a new one. Yeah, I know. I don't even know if that'll make me feel better. I've never actually carried through on a threat to destroy a faulty appliance or something, I was pretty impressed by a video where somebody put a concrete block in a dryer and turned it on outside to see what happened.
Wow.
That was great.
Oh, yeah.
That was really
that
cool.
thing is just parts dancing all over the place.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened over the weekend was
related.
Kind of. We're trying to save Dr. David Morris's park in Bayonne. He's the first African-American doctor in Bayonne, the founder of the NAACP in Bayonne. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to save this park. And we're like, well, he founded the NAACP.
What is it? Save it from what?
The destruction. They're going to cut all the trees down and make it part of the building next door, part of their free space, the Green Acres free space requirement for New Jersey. So
okay, and it's what is it that's going to get torn down?
About 12 trees, big, huge, beautiful trees.
Yeah.
The park is going to be redesigned, and they're going to put planters, little planters.
So basically now, what is it? It's trees and...
It's trees in a little area. It's actually in a cage. They put up a cage around this park. That's how racist this town is.
Oh, my goodness, Lefty.
No, it's a racist town. You know, there was a street named Niggers Lane in Bayonne. Niggers Lane in Bayonne.
See,
Google it. You Google it.
Yeah, but you have to have a total disclaimer throwing that out on speaker.
It's on Google it.
No, I mean, okay. It's like looking at a sign where you didn't say, they have a street named, and all you do is you look up and you see one part of that. And that's all you see. If somebody just hears the one
that's all you
or
need to
two
know.
words...
It's disgusting. History of Bayonne. It's disgusting.
Yeah, no, but you got to make sure everybody knows the context you're talking at.
The history, the racist history of Bayonne is the context.
People listening or watching this would understand that. People walking by will not.
Okay.
They'll hear that.
Well, maybe they'll stop.
They'll hear that. That's why you got to say you got to do total disclaimer after it.
So we have
and is there no other remembrance of this person?
A little plaque on the wall. A little plaque on the wall with the
wall of what?
The wall of the park. There's a little wall, and it says David Morris Park, and then all the assembly, all the...
How long's it been David Morris Park?
Since 75, 80.
No way to call it a historical section or something. That's your only hope. When you have something to... If it was like a house or a shed he used to work in or something, it could be declared a landmark.
These developers are so shady. They're like, when 85% of the building is done, then we're going to raise the park. So when do we know when 85% of the building is done? And who decides when 85% of the building is done? And how do we know when 85%? How do we prepare for that? You can't.
It's not fair.
The park will be gone, and we will be like, oh, where's the park? That's what's going to happen.
But this doesn't surprise you. Please tell me it doesn't surprise you.
We're going to surprise them.
I mean, it's just like the developer, he doesn't care. Well, okay, I've heard that about just about all developers.
Yeah.
It's what it's what they do. They want to get to their end.
But we have wheelchairs, and we're going to tie them to the trees.
Thing just came in for a landing.
We're going to tie wheelchairs to trees.
What happened to that wheelchair that you tied in front of the...
I think Angela McKnight might have cut it.
Signs down. I got to take care.
I think she did. It was in broad daylight that wheelchair was taken from her office. Trees. I mean, who steals a wheelchair?
That's terrible.
Does Angela McKnight steal wheelchairs? Really? Is she not above that? Really? We blocked each other. We're like children. Me and Angela McKnight, we're like children on the internet. We blocked each other.
That's great.
She's so immature. She's
so immature.
I'm calling her immature. Me, Lefty Grimes, is calling Angela McKnight immature because we both blocked each other on Facebook like little kids. I'm blocking you, Angela. I'm blocking you, Lefty.
Oh,
really? Like this is our representation in Trenton. Really? Oh my God. And she's on the Health and Senior Services Committee with no ramp for wheelchairs in her office that we pay for as taxpayers.
I'm sure she's going to get one soon.
Maybe someday. Yeah. She's looking into it. They're forming a committee to get the ramp right now. Oh my God. What a joke. All right, well, I have to go take a quick break. I'll be right back. Jim, I will be back in a minute, sir.
Where might you be off to?
I have to go to the bathroom, if you really want to know. If you really need to know.
I do.
Number one.
I do. Do you have to go down to the
yeah, would you like me to tell them anything for you or give a message?
Where down? You have to. Where do you got it?
I like to go to the museum. I find the toilets there are great in the museum.
Yeah.
They're clean and they're
very accessible.
Costanza now. Yeah.
They smell good.
Yeah.
Right back. Taking my vaporizer and I'm going home.
Now we get to talk about behind your back.
But feel free to talk more about the racist history of Bayonne.
I'm not very well versed in the racist history of Bayonne.
Yeah. Takes a lot for me to call somebody racist, though. I guess I could call an entire city that, but I wouldn't. We have different methodology at times, but I'll tell you, where we overlapped, yeah, we kill there. It generally is here. So that was one hell of a press conference, I got to say.
I'm really sad I missed it. Man.
Yeah, it was a really, you wouldn't want to have a young'un out in heat like that.
Yeah.
That was really, it was hot. But, this, what Cory Booker's bill does, it is not a half step. It is a wide-reaching bill. And the fact that it wasn't to do with changing the schedule, that it was descheduling it entirely. And it would probably take a long time to figure out any kind of regulations. But this is, as always, the first bill is to get it discussed. And then you identify where the pushback's going to be by senators who won't co-sponsor it. And they're going to have to point to some sort of concern. And then you find out what that concern is. And then the next time you bring up the bill, you address those concerns in the second version. But it's up to the advocates, and I got to tell you, I mean, I love my fellow cannabis advocates, but I can't disagree with somebody else's portrayal of us as like herding cats. You know, we're somewhat more individualistic than some more conservative members of society, and the more conservative members of society are more apt to march in lockstep and present a more powerful force in unison. Well, we're kind of running around like at times like with so many different ideas and different ways of doing things and stuff going out. Sometimes it works against us, I think. My idea some years ago was to have, there's national groups didn't seem to be working together, and I thought, well, why didn't each national group, say a dozen, get the dirty dozen there, and everybody have what is it you want to do, and everybody gets a month, and we all work on each one. We support each one. In other words, if somebody worked with the Coalition for Medical Marijuana on a cannabis issue that we found extremely important, and then there was one that we could support because it's a cannabis issue, we would then quid pro quo support theirs. We don't do that. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I took issue with Doug Green, who said that about us, and I've come to think he's probably right in the time since. But we do a few hundred people. to get inside the building to lobby legislators, we can't get a couple.
So that's one of the things I was thinking about, because I participated in Delaware's lobby day. Well, when we were working on SB 24 to get PTSD, safer access for patients that have PTSD, able to get in the program. And it was a lot of fun, actually, to go around and meet legislators, even though it was in Delaware and not New Jersey. But that's something that we need to, it's something that I would like to do. I just don't know exactly how to go about getting that started.
Well, to get it started would be to herd cats. In other words, how do you get it started where, this is why, Laura, I tried to make it simple and get people to email me what it was they were saying. It's not fair, it's not fair. Well, put down the things you just said that aren't fair in a letter to your legislator, and I will deliver it for you. Make sure you include the part about please talk with Jim Miller when he delivers this to you. And I was mailman Jim that way. That's the only way I could break this code how to do it. But it is far more impressive when a group goes in together.
It really is.
We've seen them do that here. They come walking up, they got the same colored shirts on or an armband, and they go in with force, and you see them, and I think there they are. We have that many people. We have that many people that care about this.
It's true, and it works. Like I said, I got to see it with my own eyes. The Women's Veteran Collective, that was our first major accomplishment that we did, and we went more than once. So, and as we sat down with legislators, that's how we present ourselves. We are, female vets, and this is what we this is what we need. This is what is needed, and they really responded. And I think it kind of caught them off guard.
There's a microphone laying down somewhere. Gray one? Is that got a yellow thing on it?
Yeah. But it worked,
Excuse me, I'm producer for a second here. That should do it. That's off. Yeah, it does when you get people going the same direction at the same time. But I don't know. Okay, I don't
know which one it is.
Turn that down a little. It was all the way up. That could have been it. I don't know.
All right. So what's the first step in making a lobby day? How do we do it? We pick a date, or?
Yeah. Well, basically, if you want to encourage somebody to do something, having an exact date would do it. Lobby days are going to have to be in the middle of the week.
Right.
So I don't know how that right off makes it harder. And if we're going to do a lobby day within New Jersey, as an example, we have a smaller state. It's easy for people. If we wanted to gather people here, we have social media. We can reach people a lot easier than we could 10 years ago. But we have to be able to make it easy, really easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have to write anything up. You want to be able to go at least bring in and deliver something to your legislator and talk about it for a little bit, but you want to have something to hand, a question to ask, and getting the people to do it. If it's easy, I don't know, free food. I don't, what does get them to show up? It's the times that I've shown up, that's usually my effort, so I don't know what it was that would get me to show up. But short of having a lot of people, if the people that were showing up were also there to deliver a constituent letter. In other words, if we couldn't get more than a dozen people, if each person had 5 offices to visit with letters from constituents and knew what they were talking about at all, you'd have a chance at getting some representation done. But it's just not done often enough, and that's why people like Senator Nick Scutari and Senator Cory Booker put bills out that aren't going to get passed. It seems to be the question in the press too. What do you think the chances are of getting passed? Well, it's just not going to get passed, and they don't seem to understand why somebody would do that. We got to rally around both of these bills. I'm having problems with the home grow, a lack of home grow in Senator Scutari's bill for New Jersey. But his bill is also a feeler. It's not like you got to bitch at him about it. You just have to say, well, I have concerns that it's going to leave so many people out because of lack of home grow. Why? The other states that have done this before just all have home grow. The same thing happened with our medical bill. And then as soon as we took home grow out, it passed in the Senate for medical purposes. It passed in the Senate easily. And that Senator Scutari has it. I apologize for that. I have no idea. Let me just start. That's it. It's got to be. I don't know why that is. If you just even unplug it for a second, you can see where it's plugged in. Lefty, come back.
Well, that is a concern of ours. That's something that the Women's Veteran Collective is interested in working on next, is home grow, at least at the minimum for patients.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is something that is not out of the question because they've already shown their ability to use improvements for patients as a way of getting the legalization passed. Because what they've done in Senator Scutari's bill is he put in that in the bill that it would also eliminate the sales tax on medical marijuana. That could be a standalone bill, but it's not. It's a bargaining chip used in. Okay, but beyond that, if this passes, we're going to help patients by rescinding the sales tax. So in that same vein, it's like, okay, we need to put home grow on a shelf because we're not sure about it and we don't want to make the whole bill wait till we are. But we will revisit it for patients, the same bill that passed in 2009 and the Senate passed it in committee out to the floor and then the floor passed it effortlessly. That they will then go back and make that, either put that as an, I don't think you can make an amendment to the law as easy as have a whole new law. That medical marijuana patients in New Jersey would have the right to grow 6 plants and possess up to 2 ounces of, or 1 ounce of dried usable material was the phrase they used in the original law. So that would be getting the patients off that battlefield before continuing on for social use. Because, you know, it's a choice for a lot of people that they use it socially. For patients, I don't think we should think that's a matter of choice. I mean, if it's something that can help your pain with very little residual effect, how much of a choice? That's why it's called a no-brainer. It's not really
I just
a
saw
choice.
someone on Facebook. I don't know who it was, where she was from. I really don't know. But she had just mentioned that the mother plant had died. So now she is going to be without medication. That's it. So her thing was, you know, if I could grow myself, then it would be insurance. It's an insurance policy that she never has to worry about being without her strain that works for her. People don't realize that these strains are very specific to what works for certain patients. So they just think, oh, well, you can just smoke this weed or smoke that weed. But that's not how it always works for everyone.
Oh, as a matter of fact, if they think that's working fine for them, it's because they're not actually having what would be better for them with strain, and they find it, you know, good enough to stop there. And most people don't understand that it's very often not a seed that grows. It's the same way you might clip a couple things out of a ornamental plant and it grows roots and then you have that same plant. Well, to get a clone from a mother plant, and how long does a mother plant remain viable? Do you know? I know it's 2 years for 2 years
I really don't
for
know
sure.
enough. Like,
yeah, I used to hear 2 years is, you know, good, and then if you can clone a clone, or is it like multiplicity with Michael Keaton and the third clone's not too smart, you know? You know, I'm not real sure about that. But yes, if you find the strain that works best, and especially I understand with children having seizure disorders, it is a specific amount, and it's not necessarily specific to all children with Dravet syndrome. Need the same, but when you find what works for you, if you're allowed to grow your own and you have a mother plant, you're also growing your clones, and if something happens, you know, you need enough. You know, it's New Jersey's law is a little bit vague on that front, but you know, because I mean, 6 plants, clones would be considered a plant, so.
Got ya.
You know, so at that point, you know, what they considered an actual viable plant, they did call it dried usable material, so it wouldn't be crap that you were going to throw away, you know, like or not use. Of course, when you're making edibles, it's just about all usable. So, and anyway, it is a very real possibility that if Senator Scutari does not feel home grow should be in this bill, I believe Ken has already mentioned the possibility to him or somebody that would get it to him, that we might want to revisit that. And that's not asking a lot. It's like saying what you thought was good for patients before, homegrown, do you still think it's good for them? I mean, that's the no-brainer. We got to make it hard for him not to do that if he's at least...
Well, like I said, once this market opens up, we don't know what it's going to do. I mean, we heard out of Nevada, Las Vegas, how they were running out of medicine, right? So we don't know what's going to happen here. We don't know if there's going to be enough. And if patients get pushed out, then what? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Well, at the very least, they could give them first call on whatever they can get cheaper from a dispensary that's the right strain. It's all new territory. It's just I do know one thing. I don't necessarily like the phrase a half loaf, because sometimes you get less than that even. You know, you get a couple of crumbs. It's a hard decision to make, though, to say, no, we don't accept that. We'd rather have nothing. Like in arbitration, you know, you say what you want, the other one says what you want. One gets it, one doesn't, case closed, you know. I don't know if I'd be willing to go to arbitration and lose everything. We got the medical law. You don't get to grow your own. It's not going to be for patients with pain. It's only going to be for these few diseases. Take it or leave it. How do you tell somebody with MS, cancer, AIDS, pain from one of those, all the things it's good for? How do you tell them, no, we're going to not help you get yours even though you would. We're going to reject it because it doesn't cover enough people. That's very hard to do. It really is. And you kind of got to go all in at one point, like yes or no. When it's a bill, it's not like you get to vote on somebody and do it like that. It's actually hard for us to, those who can physically get somewhere and support, if we could all.
Well, I don't know. I'm so tired of people saying we're not doing enough, we're not doing enough, we're not doing enough. So I feel like this. We have to.
Without a solution, I don't mind people saying that, but when they say that and they wait for your answer,
it's the same people also that don't show up.
Yeah.
Like they don't. I mean, I'm not saying. I don't know. Like I don't.
No, say it.
I don't see them. I'm not just saying at the podcast, but that we haven't really even had rallies or anything going on. You know, it's the same people that I think that throw these events.
Yeah, it is.
There's other people that don't show up or they can't be bothered or whatever.
Yeah, and
so it's easy to sit on the sidelines and say, well, you're an activist, but you're not doing it right. And you're not, it's hard to tell people that are doing it that they're not doing it right.
And you'll hear, what you should do.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Usually,
you know what we need?
Well, then it's usually something they could, I will follow you anywhere. Okay. You lead, I'll follow. What's the event? Where do I show up? I mean, there are people that can't because they can't make it there. They have either a job or other responsibilities, or they're sick.
I totally get that too.
There is, but you are so right, Laura, that there are those others that could, and they look for reasons not to more than actually. Okay, if you got summoned to court, do you tell them, I'm sorry I had to work that day? No. You get to court. Do you say I can't make it by 9 because my kid, I got to get him to school? No, you're there by 9. So it can be done. Everybody does it. It is, are you able to make it that level of important that you give up that day's work or you give up what it is to go? And I just try to make it easier for people with that representation. You know, we've delivered letters to senators and assembly personnel through their they have offices in here. I mean, one for the Senate majority, one for the Senate minority, one for the Assembly majority, one for the Assembly minority. There's 4 offices there that you can go in, and whoever your legislators are, you can walk in and say, this is for, and it's pretty much in their mail slot or however they get it. But they know that this letter came hand-delivered to their office. And I'm not a legislator, but I would guess that carries more weight than an email.
Oh, I think so too.
You
I've
know,
emailed
so to come
so many
and
times,
do that,
and I get like the stock response back. It's like not,
Yeah.
you know, oh, you're a vet, so you're gonna get this vet response back. It's like it's corny.
give me the vet response.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and they, it's usually, you probably already know, there'll be one paragraph in there that, if you're lucky, you'll get them to insert a paragraph personal beyond just using your name, fill in the name, you know. But the standard reply used to always include, if anything comes before me, I'll be sure to keep your views in mind. And that's the one I don't really like. Because then you know it's used like a coffee coaster or litter box, bird cage, whatever things people use for mail that they do not read. So, well, yeah, if you're having an interest in that,
I do.
and
So-
and
and
I
the-
do. I would say first thing is maybe in the 2-month time out, 10 weeks category, if to really try to get something together to do that, and then an effort to see if we could work with people carpooling, or if there's a whole bunch of people, like 20 or more, that wanted to get from one spot to have a bus. I mean, people come in buses, you know, and then that costs money. No, I think we should try.
I think so too.
And because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and evaluate a chance of success as if that determines whether or not I want to do it, because that's contrary to what I say I do. I say that we go after it like it can be the big success we hope for, and you know, lead a horse to water.
Well, like even if it's 5 of us that are going there and sitting in front of each person, like
Yep.
it's 5, and then maybe next time we get 10, whatever it is. I know this is that the Women's Veteran Collective would be behind, and there's 3 of us in Jersey, so I already, like, I know for sure that there would be 3 of us there, you know, and maybe even, you know, Kim from Delaware, I don't know, but
well, shortly we'll find out if the main man at Coalition would want to take part. He's
I'm sure he
sitting
would.
right behind you, and apparently we're calling somebody.
Technical problem. Sorry, guys.
I'm trying to get the phones up. Phones are not up right now. Working on that.
Hello, Jim Miller.
Hey, Ken.
Ken Wolski.
Hi, Lefty. Hello, Laura. Laura's little baby.
Yeah, one of the only cute ones I've ever seen. For real. I said one of the only cute ones I've ever seen. I'm well known as I don't think babies are cute. I mean, it's not their fault. It's their, you know, they got that red, fresh, crunched up face.
He likes it.
No, but that's, I got totally distracted before. I'm like, how do I say this? I don't like outing myself, as I don't appreciate, you know. But but that's why, you know, just so restful and peaceful.
Yeah.
And
Smart actors never work with babies and dogs, I understand, because they're always stealing the scenes.
Yeah, right. Just by being cute, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway. So it's been a little bit of a technical difficulty day. Good day. We've
What's that?
we've gone over both sides of the Cory Booker event, and you can, if you weren't listening or watching, you can view the replay and see that I maintained a pretty good devil's advocate. And where did that get us? And that now we have damage repair to do. And Ken, did you realize that, be that as it may, we'd love to get Cory Booker into Princeton, who our technical guy is in Princeton? And I don't know that it's good for Cory Booker not to know that. It's, in other words, the guy that got arrested at his rally is also the guy going to work the controls in Princeton.
Right.
So is that something we should?
I think it's completely irrelevant. I think
I do. To me, it is.
Yeah. No. We have a technical.
Let's victimize me some more. Why don't we? I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke, guys.
I didn't know. I didn't hear because I'm not listening to you.
You don't listen. You don't listen to your co-host.
I'm being a jerk. That's why he's not listening to me. I'm sarcastic today. I'm sorry.
No. It's we've gone through it, and
we have.
I think a huge opportunity was wasted. I think that his normal procedure of saying to an officer, I'm a patient, I need to smoke my medicine, where are you going to not object to it?
We didn't do that.
I think that had that been done, that they're not knowing, even on a good level, the way it usually works out when he goes to a police station. Yeah. I think that would have been a standalone, set it up, where it's easy viewing that the Linden police did not know, because no police seem to know, that this might encourage Senator Scutari to get in touch with the Attorney General and say, I've seen it become quite apparent at an event where a patient was made to walk almost a tenth of a mile away when the guidelines clearly state. In other words, it would have been a great way to approach.
A teaching moment rather than.
That's what I'm looking for. See that? Yeah. What he said.
Well, we have one now, though. We have a teaching moment now.
We pick up the pieces and make it a teaching moment. Yeah.
But did I do anything wrong or illegal? That's what I'm saying. I don't think I did anything wrong or illegal or immoral.
Well, wrong, how do you define wrong? As far as could it have been handled better and been more productive? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you broke any laws at all, but you invited a knee-jerk response in doing it that shouldn't be a surprise to you or me.
Right.
And I think that was a mistake, but I think that mistake allowed the others an open door to happen and were followed by mistakes of their own. Mm-hmm. So in that respect, I think maybe we could pick up the pieces, and whatever you might do in a legal, well, there's going to be ramifications. I want to sue. If you sued for not damages, but if you sued for this to become continuing education.
Thank you.
You know, if you sued for that and said, I don't want money.
That's what
I want the state attorney general,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Yes. So then the state attorney general could say, stop the lawsuit. This is obviously something that needs to be addressed. And then, you know, you might come out looking like it had a purpose as opposed to people thinking it's a stunt, you know.
Right, because, I mean, some people who were not law enforcement were saying that there was an eyewitness account that had you throwing your jar down on the ground.
Eyewitness account?
Oh, I know who that was. That was the guy that says we don't have a law.
Oh, yeah, him, yeah.
That was him. Yeah, he would, and when one guy's like, it's just a stunt, then people are going to...
This was Roseanne Scotty from the Drug Policy Alliance.
In the name of freedom, I'm taking this cannabis jar and
so,
smashing it on the
wait a second. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Crazy.
He has played his footage. He was filming right up until
right. I saw that. Yeah. We didn't see the actual jar breaking though.
No, but you did hear it break.
Yeah, you can hear it.
And when he plays it, it's quite clear.
Oh, yeah.
And Michelle is like totally surprised.
Yeah, she was surprised.
You know, she was not in on the stunt. And Roseanne Scotty is either lying or wrong, because that's not what happened.
Well,
she's echo chambering.
I characterize it as notoriously unreliable eyewitnesses report. You know, because you know, having worked in the Department of Corrections for 22 years, you know, I've studied eyewitness reports, and They are notoriously unreliable.
Ken, if I had planned this out, I would have had the Lefty camera on. I would have had more cameras. I would have cameras everywhere. This is not planned. It was not planned.
You can certainly indicate that it was not. But for somebody like Roseanne to make a statement as an eyewitness that you threw it down is not only irresponsible, it's like totally contrary to what she's supposed to be doing. And
blocking her right now.
I cannot let that particularly slide. So I may be on the bad side of her the next time we cross paths, and I'm going to make sure that happens sooner rather than later. She did not see that.
So
I'm not her friend on Facebook, so I don't have to block her.
The press conference overall was very positive.
I thought so.
Except for the sunburn that I got on the top of my head.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Perception.
That's a
perception, Ken.
The press conference, not what happened before the press
I didn't
conference.
see it. I missed it.
Oh, you missed the entire press
It was,
Oh, it's funny. I'm glad you got a kick out of that.
It was really...
no TVs in the ambulance, sorry.
It was good.
But there was cameras in the jail.
And you had your camera in the jail.
In the jail. My camera in the jail.
Unbelievable.
That could have been a bomb. Could have been a grenade. It's really
So
bad.
where does it stand now? You're facing some kind of charge, Lefty?
Petty disorderly persons. So let's see how far they want to
For
go with that.
breaking the glass, that's not a cannabis disorder.
My medicine was all over the ground.
Right, yeah.
Which I never got back.
I know, I saw that.
Never got it back.
I took some photos of it, but of the event. But I just had a still camera. So.
And I had 45 seconds of it, but my camera lost all its pictures. I think the man got to my
I agree.
phone. I was only kidding.
If it was anyone else, they'd be more sympathetic than me. But as it is, it's me. It's the guy who shows up. You got to deal with the guy who shows up now. Sorry, it was me. What can I say?
Well,
I'm not the most sympathetic figure. I know. I know that. I know this, Jim. What am I going to do?
You're not in the top. Pick a number.
No, I'm not the guy you go to when you want a sympathetic figure. No.
And I can think of perhaps
I'm the a-hole
three that are less sympathetic at times. I've always what do I say to you? Angry Lefty or hurt Lefty?
How about both?
It's the same. No, you can be hurt Lefty without being angry. You can be hurt mentally, physically, beaten down by it all, and you're going to get somewhere. But if it's, what gives you the fucking right to that? That pushes people away. What gives you the right to make my life so miserable? See, that's going to draw people in. I think you could do more.
All right, if police...
I think you do more than just about anybody I know with your methods. I think you do more than anybody I know that way. In other words, you step up to bat a lot. Yeah. So I'm not going to criticize you really with a lot of heart in it for your methodology if one good thing can come from it. Now, bad as I think it was, not bad, is as much as I think it wasted an incredible opportunity, I do see a path towards that, even the way you did it, being a very good path to the Attorney General, and where he would gladly, willingly do his job and make sure that this is addressed. And if it can come as part of a legal action, that'd be fine. If it can come as part of it's an incident that happened, but not to be calling on the phone. It's if we wrap up fairly promptly, I'll stop by and see if I can leave a message for the Attorney General at his office at the Justice Complex.
Yeah, Youth Justice Complex.
Yeah, it's barely on my way out. And it's right across from the health department, so I could go both.
It's a nice office up there too. We met there trying to get marijuana rescheduled, and I think we also met there once in protest to Paula Dow's delaying the implementation of the program while they waited for federal guidance on the medicinal marijuana in New Jersey. We thought that you shouldn't have to wait for guidance from people who don't believe in medical marijuana. You need to assert your state's rights, and defend the right of the state of New Jersey to declare marijuana as medicine, as so many other states have done.
How many other states? Do you have a number or not?
Well,
I don't have a ballpark either.
29 states now have medical marijuana programs. Another dozen or 13 states have CBD only
But I mean,
programs.
have any rescheduled states?
I believe that one or two have rescheduled, but not very many. I think Oregon's rescheduled and possibly.
Governor should lead that charge because he blames decimating the program through the regulatory process. Weren't really medical. That's why they have so many people. The reason we have so few people is it's truly a medical. So how many times he's said how medical our program is, he should be insulted that we still schedule it in a way that says it has no medical value, because now he's sticking up for a program that Division of Consumer Affairs says has no medical value, so we're not the ones who are empowered to reschedule it statewide. It won't. You know, why does he let them do that?
Well, you know, and the courts have agreed with him so far too, Jim. We did file a court case which is currently under appeal. Well, we were part of a court case, a couple of court cases, and the first court case ruled that the state argued that if the state of New Jersey wanted, or if the governor wanted the marijuana to be rescheduled, the legislature would have done that. So I mentioned that at the Senate Judiciary hearing, and Senator Scutari definitely took note of that, and I'm sure he's going to follow up with it. He's going to look into it to hopefully make it a part of the next iteration of this 3191.
The logic blows me away. If that's what they wanted, they would have done it. How do you know if that's what somebody wanted, they would have done it? That's not proof of anything.
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, you know, the courts traditionally give a great deal of leeway to executive branch departments. So, you know, the Department of Health, when it's drawing up the rules, it didn't make it. It didn't change it. It didn't recommend that marijuana be rescheduled in New Jersey, and so it's not. And so that's part of the problem that we have. So the executive branch department. You know, does it agree that it should be rescheduled, and the courts don't agree so here we are with still having marijuana has no accepted medical uses according to the Attorney General, and according to the Department of Health, it has accepted medical uses. You know, we still have this Alice in Wonderland kind of contradiction in terms.
I think most people would find that rather unbelievable. It's not widely known.
It's cognitive dissonance, you know, to believe two, you know, opposite things at the same time, and you know that's exactly what we're being asked to do, you know, with the state government here.
You know, it'd be nice to simply pick people whose opinion matters too, whether it be the court or other legislators. If they would go on record with answering a yes or no question, does marijuana have medical value or not? Never mind the context of why you want to know. Nick Scutari, does medical marijuana have medical value or not? Of course it does. Any other legislators does it, you know, the ones that want to waffle. But there's going to be a significant amount of credible people who are going to say yes, and then to put their names on a what do you call it, a sign-on letter. You know.
Well, the state of New Jersey, I mean, when we adopted the Compassionate Use Medical Marijuana Act, it says right in the act that the state recognizes that marijuana is useful for certain conditions. You know, so you know, we passed a law that said that it is. It just we didn't cross all the T's and dot all the I's.
Yeah, we made up a few extra letters we don't have even. You know, symbols. You know.
Are you going to the normal conference in Washington in September?
It doesn't look like it. It's more of a financial thing than anything, though. You know, not that I couldn't weasel in if I didn't have entry fee, even just getting down, and it'd be so hard to go for just a day, because what does it cover, 2 days or 3?
It's 2. It's Sunday and
two.
Monday. Monday's going to be a lobby day, and Sunday's going to be conferences, and
Now
there's
see,
going to be parties both
the
days.
lobby day, I could be able to get there for that, because it's like a 3-hour drive to Union Station, a little over. So I could take part in that. Before lobby day, is there going to be a gathering and somebody?
Lobby day, yeah. It's the 10th and 11th of September, Sunday and Monday. I'm pretty sure those dates there.
Yeah, we were just talking, and Laura was talking about having, is there a way we could arrange a lobby day in New Jersey of that sort? And, genuinely questioning why, that's so hard to accomplish. And it's hard to have those answers. More that the less conservative you are sometimes, the harder it is to band together as a team, because we're more individualistic than walking lockstep. And that could be it. And it's hard to get things done on a weekday.
Well, on the other hand, a lot of states have, conducted successful lobby days.
Yeah.
Delaware is very good at
Well,
it.
Laura's would like to be not just involved. I mean, how do we make this happen? So I like any time it's something that we don't just agree with, we think is a good idea, that we should help us help her. I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think that for those who can't come that would like to, they write a letter and we deliver it to their legislature. That we actually can include with hand-delivered letters this letter to you on this lobby day, because this represents my point of view as your constituent. And as your constituent, I need a reply, please, so that we can put people on the spot as far as legalization bill.
Well, perhaps we can plan one for October or November.
Yes, I told her at least a couple of months to plan, and that time of year, it's kind of good to get around that time of year.
Of course, it is kind of silly season then with the elections and all.
Yeah, it is, and sometimes that also hopefully would get us a little better coverage if anybody was going to notice, because that in and of itself is, if you do it publicly enough, it becomes a productive stunt. I mean, the using it for, we see if we can get our usual suspect contacts in the media to be of any interest, and that's what pushes people to listen a little bit better. I mean, we would end up legislators who didn't reply. In other words, if we're ready to correlate everything, really correlate it, it could help senators for people who don't support it. We'd like to know why. And if those who would say, well, I have concerns about this or about that, then we can also present that to Senator Scutari. That's what his bill, it's not going to get passed, and I keep telling people it's not to be passed. This was to be discussed. You can't discuss an intent or a concept. You can discuss a specific bill with a number that's posted in committee. That is legislators' duty to start responding at that point. So it gets us to the first step. And we get to take part, but my Facebook, I don't do the quote thing, but friends that have serious concerns and legitimate concerns. I'm tired of them being relegated to Facebook because it's where we all share those concerns. That has to be made to their two assembly representatives and their senator, and it's so hard to get them to do that. But it would be nice to challenge those who have complaints to at least write them down. So it could be hand delivered if you can't do it yourself. So, you know, if we have a couple of months to do that, and I like that somebody else would like to take the lead on this, and that we can say we would love to help you. How can we, you know? And try to crack that code. Can we get people here for a lobby day ourselves? I like the idea. I think we could. We could assemble enough people for it to be considered a group.
Good. And, well, we'll do some more planning at it. And planning of it at the next CMM&J meeting, too. So if this is something you're interested in, make sure you come to our September meeting on the second Tuesday in September.
What's, you got a newspaper? What's up? You're not a casual newspaper reader at the table here.
It's not mine. Dan Brady brought it. But it is today's, and it just says that judge denies New Jersey Weedman's motion for a new detention hearing. So that's very sad. Ed Fortune, New Jersey Weedman, is still in jail.
With cancer.
Jail. Cancer is not being treated appropriately. And it looks like he's just staying there for as long as they can possibly hold him.
180 days.
180 days before the trial.
Yeah, 180 days from the time they put him in until he needs to be at trial. And at that point, I don't know what happens because you're always at trial by then.
Yeah.
But they're also made a motion to make it 40 days longer based on a technicality that they would like to start the clock after he was there 40 days. So they're trying to add 40 more days on, too.
Yeah, it's just terrible, you know, to have him locked away and have his voice silenced. You know, such an outspoken advocate for marijuana law reform, for the rights of patients to have access to medicine.
That's because he's black, Ken.
Outspoken actually tones it down for him.
Yeah, it does.
There's got, you know, you got models and supermodels. What's the next level of outspoken?
They're scared of him.
Because none of us are in that level.
Yeah,
well, Lefty approaches that level at times.
Lefty's
I
there.
got to say. And patient as well, you know.
Now, Ed is a patient, but he's a California patient. So the borders are really what screwed him in this case. Because if it was a Jersey patient, he wouldn't have these problems. He'd show his card, and surely the cops would let him go. Once he showed the card, of course, they'd let him go, right? Surely. That's what we've seen in New Jersey, right?
Well, of course, the charge that he's facing is selling. So even if he had a card, that wouldn't protect him from the sale of marijuana.
Well, they're saying that it's allegedly.
Yeah, right. He allegedly sold it. So
I wouldn't believe a word that guy said. That guy, that rat guy.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just so unfortunate that he is locked up, and you know, it just does talk about the racial disparities in the prison system. You know, when I worked for the Department of Corrections for 22 years, from 1984 to 2006, and the prison population exploded from 9,000 inmates to 27,000 inmates just the time I was working there, as a result of drug crimes and
that shouldn't happen in anybody's entire lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, triple 27,000 from 9,000 to 27,000, and 86% of those inmates were black and Hispanic. You know, to me, it was such a. I was one of the first people that I know of that even recognized and identified the racial disparity in the prison system, because I was working in the juvenile system at Skillman, the training school for boys, 200 teenage boys and girls. And one day I looked at them all walking past me, and I thought, where are all the white kids? You know, and I went and
why did they walk separately?
They're
not here.
I went back and I did the math, and I looked at the racial demographics of all the kids in the training school at that time, and 90% of them were black and Hispanic. And I knew that that fed the adult system, so I went and checked those numbers, and sure enough, it was just disgraceful numbers. 86% of the 7,000 inmates were black and Hispanic. Now it's a little better, but it's down to like 70-some%. But they hide the inmates too. They say, well, we're going to put you all in drug treatment programs. So you're not really in jail, you're in a drug treatment program. But if you leave that drug treatment program, you're in jail.
Yeah.
Right? So it's...
what choice do you make?
Drug court?
Yeah, drug court.
Or freedom?
Yeah, drug court. So many people have been so
bamboozled,
devastated by drug court. They think that they're getting off, and they're under more intense supervision than they would be if they were in jail. Probably
better off in jail.
Yeah, some of them. So it's it really does, that's one of the reasons that I was so heartwarmed by Senator Booker's bill and the justification for his Marijuana Justice Act, and it spoke directly to the disproportionate minority confinement in our criminal justice system, and the unfair way that the laws against drugs are enforced. So.
Well, I look Latino, so maybe that's why I was tackled and thrown on the ground. I do.
Yeah, you can pass for Latino, Lefty. And
I'm very dark-skinned. Look at this. Look at this. Right? That's dark.
Yeah. So, and I missed that first part. So your glass dropped on the ground, and how did that lead to your being handcuffed on the ground? That's the part I didn't see.
Yeah, there's a disconnect here.
Well, he didn't light up the joint for a degree of time, a minute or so.
Did you see the video? Did you watch the Facebook video?
There was quite a bit of time where it was just like a drop jar. Oops.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it was a much shorter period of time after he put.
I lit the joint.
You lit the joint.
Then you lit the joint.
Yeah.
Then that was what prompted them to come over. Not the breaking glass. The joint.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was the joint. That was my understanding. And then, but then you weren't charged with public use of marijuana or whatever.
No.
You were charged with some kind of disturbing the peace.
Breaking the glass.
Yeah,
breaking my medicine on the ground on purpose.
Dropping something of glass that broke, which would be anybody carrying anything glass.
Yeah.
But they would not be arrested if not doubling down by using their medicine publicly.
They had to do something because they had me on the ground screaming. They had to charge me with something. They couldn't just say, "Okay, you can go now, Mr. Grimes. Here, take off your cuffs, go home."
Well, they could have done that. I mean, once they realized that you were a legitimate medical marijuana patient, they could have let you go. I mean,
egos got involved at that point.
Well, that's true. That's true. It is. It does become an ego question, I think.
When you get a knee-jerk reaction.
Yep.
But you got the knee-jerk reaction because you deviated from your normal way of doing it.
Yeah. That was not an INE tour. That was just going to a Booker rally and lighting up at a Booker rally, and this is what happens when you light up at a Booker rally.
Yes, but it wasn't like you have rules you must follow at your INE tour. It's you, It's you that knows that works, and I, for the life of me, cannot understand if there was a decision made, let me deviate and get a knee-jerk reaction.
No.
Because...
No, that was nothing like that. It was just, the Booker's coming on soon, I want to medicate, I'm in pain. Michelle was smoking too. We were both smoking.
Oh, yeah,
Michelle was lighting up too. So.
But it wasn't over where we sat in the shade in the trees where a lot of people couldn't see us. It was in front of a news van, in front of...
By the street. I wanted to go by the street, as far away from...
people?
People
no.
and...
No, you went into the middle of the people.
No,
if you
we went
there was a space just where we went. It was not that farther away. If you walked out instead of straight, this way, there was like shade and tree, grass off the sidewalk, and we got that heat there for a while, and it was like you might see a person there, but we didn't see any police there, and it's...
Well, the sergeant did come back and check us out. I mean, I did take note of the sergeant when I was eating a meatloaf sandwich at the time, sitting on my chair, And he came sneaking around the tree just to see what we were doing.
Sneaking around the tree.
It looked to me like
skulking.
In retrospect,
that's how I characterized it in my
In retrospect, I do remember that.
Yeah.
That he kind of just was there.
He just came around, looked at us, made sure we weren't. I
He
had a feeling he was looking to bust somebody.
He might have been thinking, "Are they okay? They're two old men. Come sit in the shade on a hot day."
Yeah.
See, that's what I do. I look for the other possibility, and there was that possibility, but I wholly agree that it wasn't somebody going, "Are you guys okay? Do you need anything?"
Right.
Wasn't that? I mean, if you're checking up on somebody, you ask, "How are you doing?" Not
Right. What's going on back here?
Why didn't he help me with my jar? I dropped all my Schedule 1 medication on the ground. Why didn't he help me?
Because you had a lit joint in your mouth.
Yeah, could have been handled very differently. And
It could have
been handled very differently.
But if some good comes from it, and you can if you can make a case of it helping get the Attorney General to get on his stick and take care of this problem rather than you, it's basically you get to say to the Attorney General, please stop Lefty from doing this. And there's only one way: do your job, so he doesn't have to.
So what's the next step, Lefty? I mean, have you filed some kind of false arrest, or do you have legal representation?
Do you have a copy of the arrest report?
Yes, I do. It's on my Facebook. I'm going to go there, represent myself on Monday. And
you don't have a lawyer?
No, because lawyers have ethics. I don't have that. I don't need that. I don't want that.
Lawyers,
I don't want ethics. I'm going to go there and film the prosecutor and roll a joint on his desk. Yeah. You got a problem with that? Oh, sorry.
And you're going to go alone?
I hope not. I sure hope not. That would be not good.
And
but
when is that?
I'll have the whole Facebook community with me, though. I'll have Facebook Live, so it'll be. Yeah. They have to talk to me on Facebook Live.
And you're allowed to film in the
prosecutor's office, yes. Not in the courtroom, but in the prosecutor's office. He works for us, remember. He's our...
Yeah, but are you going to meet him in the prosecutor's office?
I'll meet him wherever, whenever.
Well, I mean, typically the prosecutors... My only experience is traffic court, but, typically you met with the prosecutor right in the traffic court, right before you were
like in the
called.
hallway or something.
Yeah.
I mean, right, but yeah, that's where you would do it.
I'll roll a joint wherever.
So, do you know what kind of penalty you're facing?
No, not really. Not really concerned.
But you're concerned about getting the best possible result.
I'm concerned about educating the prosecutor.
That's the goal?
And educating the police about the cannabis law, and that this doesn't happen to another person, because I'm a tough guy. It happened to me, and I'm pretty tough. I can handle it.
Well, that's good. Let's connect the dots to that then.
Why don't you at least, call Alan Moraine? He's a lawyer, a criminal defense lawyer in New Jersey. You could at least talk to him about it.
I called a few, and they won't take the case without serious injuries. They want serious injuries to take these cases.
That's what pays.
Yeah,
really?
Which is the sad part.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to represent myself, and I think I'll do a good job.
You should. I agree. You should make somebody like Alan say no at least.
Okay.
Or let him know what you're doing and listen to him as a lawyer, what he might have to say.
Right.
You might have a better plan. He's very good about talking about, giving free advice, which is good coming from a lawyer.
Right. And what about a public defender? Or have you looked into public defense? I mean, they may be able to help you for free too, Lefty. I mean,
that would be yanking their chain.
Yeah, let's get a continuance and think about this on Monday. Monday is my court date, so we'll get a continuance.
So you don't have a a You're not prepared to move forward. They can't make you move forward without a lawyer. Simple as that.
And body cam footage. I don't have body cam footage either, so I need that.
Yeah, and that is not. That's public.
Good.
You or I could.
Very good. Very good, Lefty. Yeah.
Now I can make the lawsuit by myself. I can just file a lawsuit, or do I need a lawyer to do that? Can I sue for myself?
You can file. Well, it depends. Small claims you can do it. I don't know if I don't know if you can do it at this level. Was it a small claim or not?
I've done small claims. I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, I want to sue the police for misconduct and for violating their own oath of office and allowing a weapon into the jail cell.
to consider suing the state attorney general's office.
And that too. Yeah, we'll do that too.
I mean, it's not it's not personal, but it is like, first of all, understand and make sure when you talk to somebody that you help them understand that Christopher Burrini is not the one that should have straightened this out in the beginning, because there was two what do you call them?
Not his fault.
Temporary attorneys general and one confirmed. So there was 3 people before him in that position that should have done this and didn't. So basically, you're asking him to clean up their mess, not his. And you know, it should be made clear that it wasn't his dereliction of duty that prevented them from knowing about this. But once he knows about it, it would be his dereliction of duty if he doesn't make it right. So what you need to do is simply present him with it. You don't even need to tell him what you want. He'll know. You know, it's like when I say, tell your doctor, ask your doctor. He already knows.
His office is here in Trenton, right?
Yeah.
The Attorney General, Burrini.
Yeah, it's at the Justice Complex, across from the Health Department.
Maybe we'll take a walk over there later.
This way.
This way.
Yeah, that big building there, overlooking the
Where
river.
Ed goes gets victimized every couple of weeks.
Yeah. No, wait a minute.
Across the street.
That's
across
court.
The street from that.
No, it's same way you go to the health department. It's
right there.
Right over there. Yeah.
The big glass building.
Yeah.
A lot of glass in it.
Not the fountain, not the one with the water feature. The other one across the.
You'll know when the Hughes Justice Complex.
Yeah, find a place to park and ask somebody.
That's where I won the award.
At the Hughes Justice.
Yeah. So there you go.
There you go.
Award-winning journalist.
It's about to get real. So I'd like to call Leo Bridgewater. He was actually there at the event. Can we give him a call? Would you guys mind?
No, we don't mind that.
He's always got something good to say.
Well, he's also familiar with the podcast and won't get a knee-jerk reaction or color anything. He'll give it to you straight. Of course, he didn't really see what happened either.
Hold on. Yo, what up, Lefty?
Hey, Leo. You're on the air. How you doing? Hope you can
I'm
hear
on
me.
the air. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Hey, Coalition.
What's up, Leo? It's Jim.
Hey, Leo. Ken Wolski.
Hey, Kim, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good.
So what'd you think about the Cory Booker rally? It was great, right?
Well, I'm actually on the phone with the star attraction of that day's show, Lefty Grind.
Which is our point. He should not have been the star attraction, but he's about to be.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
By my standards, I'm doing good.
But I wanted to say that, I thought Friday's event was, it was pretty historic in terms of, where we're moving as a state, and as a country. Whether or not Cory Booker's, Marijuana Justice Reform Act actually goes through, which would be awesome if it did. The fact that New Jersey and S3195 getting that kind of attention was awesome. It was great, and to see all of the people who were there, the heavyweights in the grassroots activism scene in New Jersey was also equally just as awe-inspiring, and to be counted as one of them, I was truly humbled.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was a great turnout.
I felt the same way looking at that crowd, and the fact that everybody was there in incredibly oppressive heat and humidity and direct sunlight for the time they were spoke of their fortitude.
And dressed nicely too.
Yeah. Oh man, listen. And the thing is, I got sick. I was sick, and I'll be honest with you. I know Cory Booker was sick too. Yeah. We all were. We all were hurt.
And he was on the road all day that day.
Yeah. It was 12 o'clock noon.
Well, he was somewhere before that, and then he was places after that. I know.
We were out there for about 2-3 hours.
I don't know. I know I had to sit down a few times. I felt old.
Yeah. But the thing is that when you look at the pictures everybody who was standing on the steps. You know, everybody there knew nobody up there who didn't know somebody else, and that to me spoke volumes. In terms of, and then, I can tell you right now, there was a lot of people who should have been there. You know, a lot of people. You know, I was sad that like I didn't see people like Ricardo Rivera.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's
yeah,
previously
there was a lot of
engaged.
people, yeah, there was a few people there that should have been, you know, I wish would have known, but at the same time, for whatever reason, you know, they couldn't make it. But I was thinking about them, that's for certain.
People there too, as I did. I mean, every time I go to a function like this, I like that I get to cross paths with people and drop a card off, pick a card up, get some contact. So I know both Ken and I have excellent contact now with Senator Booker's office, and that in itself makes the entire day worth. If nothing else, that was beautiful. You know.
Yeah, you know, and then so for me, when I think about, you know, from where we were, like you said, Joe. Remember April 20th last year.
Yeah.
Everything you told me that could happen, what the things that we could do, the kind of noise that we could make. What's your assessment now?
Winner? What's your assessment now?
For legalization, when?
No, I'm saying
you got it done.
On everything that you said, remember when you and I spoke for the first time on April 20th of last year?
Oh, last year. I mean, not a year ago, April.
Yeah, and remember when, you know, you sat down, you said, Leo, the things we could do, you know, the types of changes that could happen. All right, so from April 20th of 2016 to August 9th or August 10th, 2017, what's your assessment?
There was. This is better than my assessment. This is everything I'd hoped we would have been able to get going, and more. My assessment would have been that this wouldn't have been a national bill put up that deschedules. I would have assumed it would be for rescheduling because it just failed. What gets me, Leo, is how all-encompassing Senator Booker's bill is. It is far-reaching. It deals with pretty much all the important stuff, except for whether or not people would be allowed to grow their own, you know. But, you know, my God, descheduling. And making a good case for it, and making it part of the racial disparity, as well as including an expungement and I didn't think we'd get this far, and I must have been presenting a pretty ambitious picture to you. At first, I thought you meant this past April, and of course, a year ago that was when we met, when we first got to talk. Or no, that was in March, wasn't it? Yeah, didn't we meet in March?
April.
Was it April?
Remember, I said to you, Jim, this guy's great, Jim.
We were at the 420 rally.
Okay.
The first time I ever spoke. We were at the 420 rally. And then you and I, after I got finished speaking.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember. I homed right in. I said, "How can this be somebody I don't know, and a veteran to boot?"
Like, this guy's great, Jim.
Yeah, basically, we
Get him.
We wanted to corral you and turn you into an asset, and you turned yourself into an asset. You know, so we didn't expect that. We didn't expect that consistent help. I like the way you jumped in wholeheartedly.
Hit the ground running.
You show up, and you're a busy man, and you still make time.
Like for me, I'm always thinking about at the time, the talk between us was Senate Bill S2345.
Yeah.
And all we kept talking about was getting PTSD, and I kept telling you about how I see how PTSD has played out on the community of Trenton, untreated PTSD.
Yep.
And then, you know, we went to Senate committee, and then, you know, we were, and Jim, Ken, you were there. We were told that, a lot from a few organizations that they didn't think that it would go through.
Yeah, sure.
And we kept plugging away.
Yeah.
We kept plugging away.
And then the governor won't sign it, and we kept plugging away.
And the governor walked
and we
past
kept
us,
plugging away.
Then we snapped off on the. I think about all the things that we've done.
Do you know one more thing? We were wrong about something, though, in a good way. When the governor finally did sign it, I think just about everybody expected him to mess with it in the regulatory process, codifying that. And I didn't find out that they didn't mess with it, that it was already good, and you could apply for your registration card with post-traumatic stress as the diagnosis. That was going on 3 or 4 days before I knew about it. I didn't even know. I might have found out at a coalition meeting, and I'm like, what?
I remember,
I'm waiting for him to say you have to have 8 different psychiatrists, and then you can get, or some garbage like that.
Sure.
And to his credit, or his political acumen, either way works, the governor did not do that. So, I find it hard to bitch about somebody like the governor all the time without offering a thank you where he's done the right thing. So on that, he did the right thing. He did the right thing by not doing the wrong thing. He did the right thing by doing nothing other than signing it.
Yeah, listen, I'm of the opinion that, as quick as I am to give him the blame, I have to be equally, if not more, quicker to give him the credit that he deserves.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do it, especially with all the things that he said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and I know, and that's what I told him when I spoke to him. I get it. It's not easy. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I get it. You can't say the things that you want to say the way you want to say it. All that stuff. So I get it. Especially with the decision making that he has to make, the things that are on his shoulders. When it comes to this aspect right here, it will show that he was on the right side of history as far as this part goes.
Yeah,
but now, when you look at it from a national level, and you look at it's also his current policies or his current views on the cannabis industry are oxymoronic.
Yeah. Well, look what
they're weighed by an unevolved way of thinking. And so, at this point, as an advocate, I do find it incumbent upon me to make the necessary transition or evolution myself into the cannabis industry, because it's our responsibility. We fought hard for this, so we need to also be right there when it comes to the industry part of things. And so you'll see in the New Jersey cannabis community, advocate community, you'll start seeing a partnership taking place, because we're starting to realize that there's strength in numbers.
Well, this is what we've been talking about, and we want to have an advocacy day towards. This is Laura's original.
Jim, I have to run. Thank you for having me on. Thank you. Good talking to you again, Leo. Okay.
Hey, good talking to you.
Thanks, Ken.
I'll be in touch soon.
Ken Wolski, ladies and gentlemen.
Ken Wolski is leaving the house.
Ken Wolski is the man. He's a valuable asset.
He is the asset. I mean, and I can't say it enough. People already know it, though. There's a good reason he's the face and heart and soul of the coalition. He's the one doing almost all the work. I mean, he has backup and he has expertise around him. But he's the one, he's the straw that stirs the drink and the drink. He's the one serving it too, stirring it and serving it up. But he does. He gets help from us, and he does have good people around him. Are you going to be in Mill Hill Park on Saturday, or are you pre-engaged?
You know what though? That's what to say. I was about to say. So now you can let your listeners know. And everyone that, again, this Saturday, August 12th at 4:20, the New Jersey, the Trenton Cannabis Community Awareness is having a event in Mill Hill Park, and we're going to be I'm going to be one of the featured speakers. We have Rosalind McCarthy, the president of Minorities for Medical Marijuana. She'll be one of the featured speakers. Tracy Syfax, author of From the Block to the Boardroom. He'll be one of the featured speakers. And also, there'll also be representatives there from the Cannabis Commission. And that's a whole other organization formed by, co-founded by myself. You guys remember Ronnie Soto and Tiana Long, and so we're all going to be there availing ourselves to the community to educate folks on record expungement, on entrepreneurship opportunities, public policy strategy. These are all things that the Cannabis Commission is on. We're trying to give a higher level experience on a macro level. There you go. And so this is all the things that are happening because now it's time to. Everyone has their marching orders. Now it's time to start doing the work because we're the ones we've been waiting on.
Yeah. Well, this is. I like the idea of the event.
Yeah. So make sure you guys are out there, man. Lefty, you know what? I'm rude. Lefty, how you feeling, man?
Dude, I'm in pain. I was in pain the whole time. I have a bad back.
I know. I talked to the cop. I was trying to tell the cop, like, yo, you can't be doing this right now. Not here. Not with him. Not him. He is a card-carrying marijuana patient. You know what I'm saying? There's a thing called Kuma law. And the cops just got angry. I think what it was once they realized that, they messed up, they looked for anything they could to try to turn it back on you.
Right.
He was being disorderly. He was being disorderly because he earned it. Get him off the ground.
Yeah, they doubled down.
Get him off the ground.
He broke glass on the ground. He threw a glass jar on the ground.
Yeah.
We don't allow stunts like that.
My medicine was all over the ground.
That was a good stunt.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
Yeah, you threw it on the ground. What possible decides to just throw their jar of weed on the ground? Really?
Yeah.
That's what he said. And the thing is that they said that with a straight face.
No, you know what I heard? I heard when I was yelling, they said, he's not in pain. He's yelling and screaming. He's not in pain. Like, what?
Yeah. What?
I kept
up. I was like, oh, no.
I kept a pretty steady barrage for you, though, about asking for his card. Has anybody asked for his card? He has a medical marijuana registration card. Has anybody, and just over and over and over,
Leo,
then I say, Lefty, do you have your card? Yes, I do.
Leo, do you have footage of that?
Well,
Did you?
Wasn't one of Linden Police's the Linden Police Department wasn't one of their finer moments. I'll give you that.
Oh boy, Leo,
10 minutes before Cory Booker pulls up.
We have no footage of that. I mean, other than file footage we don't get to see from the media. And
nobody has it.
I had footage, and my phone got rid of all my pictures and all my videos that I had on it. I still had it on my phone.
Hold up.
My phone just doesn't have it.
Wait, Jim, hold on.
Okay.
You got your footage from last Friday when he was locking Lesty's ass up on the. You do? I got it.
Who?
Got it.
Who's got it?
Who's got it? I think it's Leo's his better 2/3.
Who are you with?
Ronnie Soto. I am with Ronnie Soto and Tiana Long right now. You want to know?
Oh, can you send it to me, man, please? I'll give you my email.
I thought he's going to give you money. I'll give you $20.
I'll give you whatever you want.
He's just giving an email.
I'm going to send you my email.
What's going on, Ronnie?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on? How's it going?
It could be better.
Okay.
Could be better.
Well, I got your footage, so I'll shoot it over to you so you can take a look at it. We're headed to the city. We're going to be featured on the Source 360 panel, so we're going to be talking about all that.
Excellent.
All that we're doing in the space to get this money to the right folks, get involved in the economic revitalization of this whole thing. So excited to be out there in New York. And if you guys are free and you want to come hang out in New York City, we're going to have a little industry event at Hudson Terrace tonight. So the vape industry came into town, and we're going to be co-hosting an event with them. So feel free and come by, guys.
Now, where is that?
Hudson Terrace is on 47th. It's the easiest way to tell you is it's right across the street from the Intrepid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll be there from 9 p.m. celebrating with the vape industry for coming into town and schooling us on vape and that whole industry that's going to be a part of this whole situation.
Nice.
Is there a website that we can go to get more information?
If you go to the Big Industry Show, that website has all the information, but of course, if you check out, the easiest thing to do is on my Instagram, I Deserve Canna, and you can see a poster of the industry event that's going to take place. So any advocates, any business advocates in the space, feel free and come out. Love to have you and take part of the community.
Awesome. You had a great event.
So, hey, man,
you had a great event in Weehawken a couple of weeks ago. That was awesome, too. Thank you for that.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming out. It was great to see the cannabis community out there representing and making a statement. And it was beautiful because half of you don't know Spanish, and you still came out.
That's right.
And that just shows the importance of having a show of force. You can't get anything done if you don't show up.
That's
so
right.
Showing up is half the battle. So
Amen
I appreciate you guys. And like I told Leo the other day, I'm like, we got to thank you guys because if you didn't keep it going, we wouldn't have woken up at some point and said, oh, let's help them with this and let's take the baton and do what we can do.
Let's do this.
So we appreciate you guys.
Well,
Thank you.
That's that play it forward effect, and we appreciate you taking the active part that you do. Because speaking for myself, I've got a limited amount of time left, and anytime somebody, well, just about everybody's younger than me. Anytime somebody comes along with the energy that you have and the energy Leo has, it feels good to know that we're in good hands after my gas tank runs out. So, thank you.
Yeah, we got you. So, I mean, me and Leo keep talking about the way the history book's going to look. So, you guys just make sure you give us some good photos to put in there.
Yeah, and good video. Thanks for
can you
that.
send me that video? I sent you my AOL.com website.
Cool, yeah. One time, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you in the next half an hour.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. You
All right, guys. Thank you for your time, man, and have a blessed day.
You too. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Wow. Yes.
There you go. You got your footage.
We got some footage coming.
You knew it had to be there.
Somebody has to have it. Come on, man. Really? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cindy.
Let's clear it up for America here, Lefty. I just found out that was not a straitjacket you were wrapped in.
Right, it looked like it, didn't it?
My nice shirt.
The picture on the ground.
Looked just like a straitjacket.
I'll tell you though,
you
Lefty.
guys.
Oh no! Oh, I do have a picture. I posted it. Well, you don't have to rip the earphones
He breaks
from me.
everything. He breaks everything.
I've been assaulted.
We can all be character witnesses if he has to go to court.
Another stun. He rips the headphones off accidentally when he wants me to shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're lucky you didn't smash
Hey, listen,
your mic,
Lefty,
but it's being
that
held
picture
up.
of you, the straitjacket, the straitjacket photo. I have a picture of you laying right here in the exact same pose.
It looks similar.
God, it looks just like a straitjacket. I swore you were in a straitjacket. I was like, that's funny. That's funny,
not
Lefty.
good.
But you were in your "this is how I lay on the ground" pose, because you lay on the ground when when you have to stretch.
Well,
your,
I knew that the legs would give out 3 steps into that police dance.
Dude, let me
put it this way. I have a bad back. All right, you're asking me to use my back to get up off the ground.
Oh God,
it's not happening.
Let me tell you one other thing too, and it really pained me to have to watch that and be helpless to do anything to help you other than to keep up a dialogue with them about.
I did hear you. Thank you.
And to say things I know you have
get the ropes.
cards.
Get the ropes.
You're lucky you didn't get shot, Lefty. You're lucky you didn't get shot.
He's saying get the ropes. I'm
well,
like,
they were saying move back, and I'm like, do your job. Get a rope line out, or
I'm sure they wanted to shoot you, but
tape.
there was too much news.
I'm like, no ropes. No. I don't want to be hogtied. I got enough problems with handcuffs. Jesus.
No, I know they wanted to shoot you. They wanted to take you out back. You wouldn't let them.
That was painful, and I had to go up and walk to the top of the steps at one point.
He would have been kidnapped if he would have kept going.
No,
they've never seen you again, Lefty.
Well,
that was crazy.
That was
really
because the thing is, as much as anybody else might think you were just being a jerk, I knew you were in pain. I mean, I know you, and I know this hurts you, and I can't say, I'm saying he's a pain patient. You're causing him more pain. Of course, that's what I'm gonna say. That's what they think.
They said he's not in pain. He's yelling.
Well, it does make a great argument for glass jars, I'll tell you that.
You ever been to a hospital before and heard people yelling out? You know why? It's
those glass jars could be a weapon on a plane or anything. Think about it.
Oh, wow.
Right?
What?
So could a camera in a jail cell.
Yeah, you just take that lens off. That's true. You take that lens off, you've got yourself a dangerous weapon. You could slice anybody in there.
Yeah, well.
Or just putting that footage on the internet will hurt someone's reputation.
Make it part of the package deal, though. Make it part of the package deal.
They were afraid to pat
You'll
Lefty
make it
down.
all go away if the Attorney General does his job.
Lefty, was it the fact that they just didn't want to feel you up? Is that it?
They didn't fill me up.
They
I
did
missed my
not
opportunity to
fill
get
you
felt up by Sergeant Birch.
I wonder why. They feel up everybody.
It was a big camera. It was. Do I have it here? No, it was a huge camera. I mean, you can't miss it.
I think he just had him rattled, you know. No, really, you know.
Well, he was busy trying to find charges for me. He's like, I can't charge him for this. I can't charge him for this. What do I charge him for? Okay, he broke a jar. That's what I'm getting it for.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That's exactly what they said.
Disorderly jar breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
My Schedule
It's a
1
new
medicine
rule. New
all
rule.
over the ground. Schedule
Okay,
1 medicine.
I got one.
New law.
I got one. Why don't you get a
They always make 'em up.
professional juggler to juggle four jars over a sidewalk?
Oh yeah.
You know, and then we can hold Lefty.
Unopened jars.
Wait, listen, we can hold them.
Unopened ones.
You can find.
So
no,
they're
but here's
completely
I'm not done, man. You cut me off mid sentence here.
You got me.
No, that's
You had me.
That's only half.
You had me. Okay.
That's only half.
All right.
You're picturing a guy juggling.
Yes.
You and me
Yes.
have
He had
a small net we're
moment.
holding under him. A net we're holding like this, and as he's juggling, we move the net out slowly, and we back away, and he's juggling without a net over the sidewalks, glass jars in Linden.
In Linden? You want to do, in Linden?
Yeah, man.
You're at, no, that's
let me
great.
let me tell you
juggler?
what.
That's
Is he the
irresponsible.
juggler?
You go tightrope. You're
I know a
you're
juggler.
between two tall buildings. This juggler could go to Linden. You know, he'd have to sign waivers.
I know jugglers. We can arrange this.
Wow. All right, who do we know as a juggler?
See, now that's a funny optic. That's,
love
you know,
that.
and then you can go.
I mean, it's
You
a
know,
juggler.
you could have a sign that says, "Now this is a stunt."
This is.
See, you see how that ties it together for you. That I would help you do.
That is why Jim is the host of this show.
Now,
That was amazing.
That was pretty good.
That's wow.
Yeah, I mean, you see the
Wow.
optics. You see, it's not about
Wow.
whether right, wrong. It's about that, my friend, is a comeback. Right in front of the police station.
Love you so much right now.
in front of the police station.
Monday, can we get a juggler for Monday's court date?
that could be counted as a weapon.
Actually,
weapon.
the court date would
It is
be.
a weapon.
Would be.
Court date on Monday. Jugglers, calling all jugglers.
Calling all jugglers. Calling all jugglers.
Gotta start
Please
with a
report
net.
to Lindenwood Police Department at
Linden Police Department, 9 a.m. Monday
9
morning.
a.m.
All
And
jugglers.
then when you pull the net out, the two people do it, turn around and go like that. you know,
Ta-da!
like the assistants.
Smash,
you know?
smash, smash. Boom. Show over. Then you have a whole bunch of cops running out to arrest you because you just dirtied their sidewalk.
And he did the
with your
ta-da
glass.
thing. You can't go ta-da when somebody's breaking a jar.
Oh my God.
And actually, that could break and throw shards at you. You know, they hate shards.
Wow.
No, it's that it must be that level offense because
Wow.
you know, look how they handle. You know, might even get out a mat. You know, another mat in case there's a body slam, like one of those workout mats you got.
Let's,
What's the mat for? Well,
who you
if they
calling?
want to body slam them. You know.
Who are you calling?
Our other co-host from Oregon to end the show.
Well, wait a minute. You know, I talked to
Go ahead.
Donald Norcross yesterday.
Who's that?
He's
congressman.
Yeah, the
Oh.
representative.
Really?
Yeah.
Represented from where?
Here.
And also he deals with Washington D.C.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, but he represents it's close to Camden, I think.
Okay.
I think he's their representative. there.
Yeah. So anyway, I talked to him. You want to know why? You know, he has a lot to do with getting it federally legal. So
Okay.
I was the only one there, surprisingly, and I asked him, why is the government lying to the people still, you know, and having this on Schedule 1 when it should have never been on Schedule 1 in the first place?
Yeah.
Because it has medical benefits, scientifically proven medical benefits that they're ignoring, and the rest of the people are just going along with that even though they know it's not true. And I told him it needs to, be taken off Schedule 1. It needs to be descheduled.
Yeah.
And do you know what?
Cory Booker's telling him that.
Yeah. Well, no, I've talked to Cory Booker. I was talking to him Friday. He actually gave me his business card and told me to call him so we could talk further. Yeah. You know that. So anyway.
I was just trying to see what he did with that because it was happening when you were gone, and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, hello? Hello.
We had our own technical difficulties.
It's working now.
He's getting a phone call.
So anyway, you want to know what their excuse is for not legalizing it federally?
No.
Okay, well, here's their excuse.
Not really.
Oh, you don't want to know their excuse?
No.
It's a good one.
Not really.
You like my expression? It's
No.
just all right. Well, first of all,
No, I'm turning your mic off. I don't want to hear it. No, I really don't want to hear it. Just more BS. I want to hear. I'm kidding.
I know you want to hear it.
Don't ask him, is what he's saying. Don't ask me. Just say it.
You're foreplaying me. I know that. You do that all the time. So anyway, he said that because there's an opium addiction in the United States. And I said, well, wait a minute. But if you legalized marijuana, there wouldn't be an opium addiction.
It wouldn't be at that level.
An opium epidemic. An opium epidemic.
Well, opiate.
That's why they won't legalize marijuana. And I said, well, that doesn't make any sense because marijuana can help. Get people off opium. So I said, I'm living.
We
proof.
haven't made that point. This is also.
There was another reason.
Well, wait a second, though. You back up not with a personal experience. Back that up with the fact that the Medical Marijuana Advisory Board recommended 5-1 that it be used for opiate abuse disorder, which is that. So.
And all these states saying it, and all the scientific proof. We know it's a medicine, and they still got it scheduled.
Just want to acknowledge you missed him, but. Jason Arnold was in the house?
Yeah, Jason Arnold.
Jason Arnold's left the house, man. I got mailmen that stayed longer than that.
I'm going to have to leave, too. I'm speaking at Woodstock. We're leaving tonight to go to Woodstock.
Really?
Yes. So, anyway,
what was the other thing? There's something else.
There was something else very stupid, too. I couldn't understand how all the sheeple in the room were just going with it. And actually, they applauded to the fact that... what he said that doesn't make any sense. He said that they're trying to send a message out there to children that drugs are bad, and if they make marijuana legal all of a sudden, if they just turn it around all of a sudden, that's going to make them look bad. So I mean, how long are they just going to let it slide with the lies? They they said, "Oh, we made a mistake, and the food table's been upside down this whole time." Well, they sprung that on us, but they can't say, "Oh, we made a mistake, and marijuana's been illegal all this time, and we've been saying it's dangerous and deadly."
But what I'm saying, and this is what you're saying, but when something like in Drug and Alcohol Dependent magazine. According to, they're talking about a study that dependence and abuse of opioid painkillers fell 23% on average. The dependence, not the mortality, not the overdose death rate.
There was a third one, too.
Yeah, but this is when they say it, and when according personal experience is ignored forever, and they're going to be ignored, So, basically, when you have a personal experience, as you do, start with that and back it up with the AMA. Bring the hammer in, because they can go ahead and argue with you about that, but you want them to argue with the AMA and drug and whatever dependence.
Well, before I forget,
these are not our friends in these
here's
magazines,
another thing
and
they
they're still
said.
helping.
Lefty, you're going to love this last one. Are you ready for that? He said, let's let Colorado make their mistakes. Let's learn marijuana before we go changing anything in the federal government. He said he's for rescheduling. He does want to have it rescheduled. Frontline's fighting to have it rescheduled from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. We'll be happy with that. At least it's not at Schedule 1 where they're telling lies to the kids, but yet they're saying that, the kids, they'll get the wrong message. What if you all of a sudden say, we made a mistake?
Secretary Price, for your work to address the crisis of opioid, heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamines. It is a tremendous problem in our country, and we're going to get it taken care of as well as it can be taken care of, which hopefully will be better than any other country, which also has these same problems.
It's my old buddy,
or similar
Bill.
problems.
No.
Nobody is safe from this
epidemic
that threatens young and old, rich and poor, urban and rural.
Left and right, up and down.
Drug overdose is now the leading cause of accidental death.
This guy's an idiot.
We will fight them with fire and fury, the mother.
Listen to what he says.
Nearly quadrupled since 1999. It is a problem the likes of which we have not seen. Meanwhile, federal drug prosecutions have gone down in recent years.
He's reading.
We're going to be bringing them up and bringing them up rapidly.
You think?
At the end of 2016, there
Just
were
saying.
23% fewer than in 2011.
He doesn't care. He's just reading.
So they looked at this scourge and they let it go by, and we're not letting it go.
He has an answer.
The average sentence length
Wait
for
for
a
it.
convicted
Wait
federal
for it.
drug offender decreased 20% from 2009 to 2016.
Shoot him.
During my campaign, I promised to
wants to
fight
shoot
this
us?
battle because as President of the United States, my greatest responsibility is to protect the American people and to ensure their safety. Especially in some parts of our country, it is horrible what's going on with opioid and other drugs. But the opioid is something that
So what are they going to
nobody's
do
seen
about
anything
it?
like.
Are they going to keep
Today, I'm
killing
pleased to
people?
receive a briefing from our team on ways we can help our communities combat this absolutely terrible epidemic and keep youth from going down this deadly path.
Just say no,
The
kids.
best way
think
to
you just
prevent
lost
drug
your
addiction
4 viewers,
and overdose
Lefty.
is to prevent people from abusing drugs in the first place.
You know, along
If
those
they don't
lines,
start, they won't have a problem. If they do start, it's awfully tough to get off.
Mr. President, could you please comment on the fact that the American Medical Association research has found annual number of deaths dropped 25%, and that dependence drops and less hospital rates, and why you have such small fingers?
So we can keep them from going on, and maybe by talking to youth and telling them no good, really bad for you.
There we go. That's it. That's the answer. No good, really bad for you.
You know,
What's really bad
That's
for you?
brilliant. That is the most brilliant thing.
Never thought of that.
Wow. Wow.
What hey, Lefty, drugs are bad. Drugs
Can you
are
believe
bad.
that well thought out
You know.
answer he came up with for a press
let
conference?
me tell you, that rivals when somebody said, how will you get Congress to work with itself when they're so alienated? He said, I'd get everybody in one room together and we'd talk about it. Like, that's called a joint session of Congress. It's happened before. It doesn't work, you know?
No good, really bad for you.
No good, really bad.
Wow.
Which drug?
That's your president. That is your friggin' president, ladies and gentlemen.
He does
Is he
speak
talking
in
about
child
pharmaceuticals? I mean, he's talking about pharmaceuticals really bad for you.
dependence, drugs. Yeah, he's talking
All
about
drug- like
painkillers are really bad for you.
painkillers.
Going on, and maybe by talking
This is
to
it
you,
for him, though.
telling them no good, really bad for you.
No, that's a smart president.
You know, listen, that reminds me of something he said about he's not
Hey,
on,
Bush
you know, why
wouldn't have
he's,
said a
why
word, he
he's,
would've
why
been
he's,
like-
hold on, well, he's not on vacation now. And the person that wrote about it goes, he seems to think, he said it was like a child's description of what an adult job was. No, because he said, vacation, I'm not on vacation, I'm going to meetings and calls. I'm having meetings and calls.
At his golf
You know,
course.
as if you asked a child, what does an adult do like that? Well, they have meetings and calls, you know. Bad, it's not good.
But he's always on his
Wow.
golf course in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, Christie was on the beach again.
Oh, was he?
Did
Did he shut it down again?
In Europe.
Did he close it first?
No, a European beach this time.
But did he close it first?
Well, I'm sure they had to close it because a beach well on a beach, you close the beach. Hi, Honeybee.
Hi.
Oh, and
Hey.
bye-bye.
Hi, everyone.
Bye-bye, Honeybee. I'm leaving for Woodstock. I'll see you later. I'm taking
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Oh, why don't you come? It starts tomorrow.
It's a long
Oh, yeah, I'll
drive.
be right there.
Hey, right there. It's only 4 hours away. Come on. It's
Yeah, 4
hop, skip, and a jump. You'll love it. Come on down, take all your clothes off, and get some body paints on. I think that's what they're doing. What?
Yeah.
What? I'm leaving now.
Bye, Cindy. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So, Honeybee, what did you think about the Cory Booker rally?
Yeah.
Good stuff, right?
Did she? Oh God! You know, if you can, honey, keep him out of the straitjacket, okay? And you behave yourself while I'm gone, there, Lefty. Bye.
Bye.
It's going to take a team to keep him okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That was crazy.
Did you ever think that would happen when you got involved with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I did, Lefty. Yeah, I thought you'd be arrested the first day I met you.
Surprised it took this long.
Why did it take so long for you to get arrested, Lefty?
Nobody in the pool. Nobody in the pool.
You're poking the bear, Lefty. You're poking the bear.
I know. I get scared every time I go there.
You can get arrested too.
Yes, I could.
We got plans for a comeback.
Yeah.
Glass jugglers.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, glass jugglers. Honeybee, what do you think about glass jugglers in Linden? Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Oh yes, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Without a net.
Yeah, no net.
Over the sidewalk.
Glass jars.
Juggling.
My cannabis, filled cannabis jars.
No, empty.
No, filled.
No, it's just the jars.
No, filled.
Full. They need to be
You
full.
got it full, yeah. Yeah,
No,
no net.
but the jar is a standalone offense for them. Make it a standalone offense. You know?
I think we should go for it, full jars.
No, it's all an optic to
One
show
jar.
people how dangerous this effort is. It's sort of like, I'm not just going to juggle glass jars. I'm juggling over concrete, but wait, there's more. I'm going to Linden, but wait, there's more. In front of the police station, over concrete, 3 jars. With a net at first till he gets going. And then once the juggle's going, slowly pull the net out. Ta-da! You know.
That's great.
Yeah. Guy can make his bones juggling in Linden.
Wow.
So anyway, the consensus is we have to make this a pathway to the Attorney General, understanding that there's a problem with his guidance not being followed as far as the guidelines for the Compassionate Use Medical Marijuana Act.
Yes.
That this did happen, although Lefty's got 60 good examples from the tour. This is the one that happened at a Cory Booker, Nick Scutari rally, and
about not arresting patients or
Yeah.
arresting people.
But if the methodology doesn't get in the way of the purpose itself, I think this is could end up on the good side.
It will, because I'm going to do the education tip. I'm not going to be the angry guy, as I should be. I'm going to be the educational guy.
No, you have a right to be. It doesn't mean you should be.
Yeah.
You do have a right to be.
No,
but it's
better to educate.
It's sort of like.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, well, what gives it the education when it's not angry Lefty, when it's hurt, or simply correct
yeah.
Lefty? No, you can hold your own that way. You really can.
Yeah, I will.
You have enough. You
I'll
have
make
the
y'all proud of me.
credibility. It's going on years that you've been doing this at police stations. So make that work too. The fact that it's been going on years.
We'll do this the right way.
I mean, I went on with you to the.
Yeah, South River, East Brunswick.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City was a good one.
Yeah, that was fun.
Tinton Falls, I think you were there.
I got to play a slot machine for a few minutes while we were doing work.
Activism. Wow.
It wasn't that I wanted to play the slot. I just wanted to say that, that's not.
I've never been on an I&E tour with Jim.
Yeah.
We should do
Yeah,
one.
let's do that.
Jim's due for one.
We
this
need
year.
that. We need to have a nice little I&E tour.
Yeah.
What are you doing after this? You want to go to the Burrino's office with me?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah. Go maybe set an appointment up or
I'm game.
Talk to him a little bit.
I got nothing to do till 10 p.m. tonight. So.
Yeah, me neither.
And let me just add to what you were saying there, that the fact you're choosing not to take the angry guy approach and do the education with this,
it's better.
It is better, but you can always save the angry guy for the,
Yeah.
hey, look at how I'm reacting to this. I could be a different person about this. I think you get some leverage like that.
Yeah.
Look at it like if it was somebody who didn't speak English and they saw the interaction. You can win with body language and inflection and, your tone.
Necesito medicina.
Necesito medicina. Like Leo would say, lose some of the bass out of your voice.
I don't know if you
Ayúdame!
Take some of that bass out.
If you can't read the story, then you just see the picture. At least the story, half of it was false anyway, so who cares if they can read the story? But it did.
Right. If somebody actually saw what happened.
Saw what happened, yeah.
Well, yeah, but somebody that did see what happened. So the first thing he did is he took his phone out and took a picture. It looked like that, but it was being live Facebook. The camera was.
It was a big event.
Was
is it not weird to think that it's being live Facebooked?
No, I don't think. I think when people see
They saw me filming the jar, and they're thinking I broke the jar on purpose.
They didn't even know you were filming it as much as you could have been taking
pictures.
Picture. The first thing he did was it was a stunt. Then he took a picture. You know?
Well, this is a great example of perspective. Everyone sees the world differently.
But it is optics, and when you can guess how they're going to see it and create that, that's a winner. And it's hard to do. But even within certain moments, and that's why the hurt Lefty, you know. I mean.
But how about the local news station has a truck there? They actually have people witnessing the event. They still get the story incorrect.
Amazing, isn't it?
And they put a picture up, which I think Cindy said, which I think is hysterical, that there's a picture of Lefty on the news coverage in a straitjacket folded back in half.
Yeah,
and it really does look like you're in a straitjacket.
It does look that way. Your arms
It
are
really
tight
does.
at your
It
sides.
does look that way.
Yeah.
I'm representing all the patients in New Jersey. Great. That's just great.
Folded in half in a
Great.
straitjacket.
Thanks.
And as far as the news said, you could have been in a straitjacket.
Very sorry about that.
Because you were very belligerent.
No, it does look like it was a restraint system of some
It does, doesn't it?
Very bad.
Hold on, optics. Bad optics, Lefty.
It was not planned. Obviously, if I had planned that, it'd be a lot different.
For real. You would have wore your orange jumpsuit instead.
I would have had more cameras on that's for sure.
Okay, I'm not for
if
nothing.
I knew about it, I would have been there.
Look, I know it's not your style, not for nothing. Picture you in a...
And you didn't even have your shirt on.
I'm just saying, picture you in a jacket and tie thrown on the ground. Picture it. And then you see that would look like, it just is. It's an optic. It's not.
There's no way Lefty would have done that on purpose without an INE shirt on. Because he would have had that photograph with the ignorance is no excuse shirt on, absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the optic. The person that picks up the paper, they see the picture, they see the belligerent the protester or whatever, the subtitle, and they see that. If they look down and it was a tie and jacket, when I got arrested at the George Bush rally, he landed helicopter Evesham Township. I went to walk out with Cheryl's wheelchair with the cars, and I wasn't allowed, blah, blah, blah. But the picture of me being led away, hands behind my back, under the control of policemen, in my suit and tie, being led away, I looked like, wait a minute, who's the guy? I was looking good, and it wasn't, when I say good, because I think I look good in a suit, it was the right image. I could see it.
Well, yeah, it's different than me in a tie-dye getting taken away in that picture. You know?
It is.
It certainly is different.
And I knew I was about to be arrested because I assumed that would be the way it went. That's why I dress like. When do I dress in a jacket and tie? Only if I'm going to be arrested. I like
Let it be known if you see Jim Miller in a shirt and tie.
Yeah,
it's going to get wild.
Getting down.
No, they take the tie away.
Well, I don't know. If Lefty had a tie on, the cop would have let him in the jail cell with a tie and the camera.
Well, that one was actually the quick one, though. It was fun because when they got me to, and actually Evesham police was closed. We had to go to Medford because with the president coming, you know, the whole entire police force, their office wasn't being used as an office. And when they said, have you ever been arrested before? I said, yeah. And they said, where and what for? And I said, well, I was arrested in Washington one time for blocking a congressman's office doorway and giving my disabled wife marijuana. And I was also arrested in a congressman's office doorway for laying her down and blocking his doorway, and now this. And it was just sort of like, I am definitely not intimidated by this, guys, you know. And I got treated way different then, you know. But I think the jacket and tie fooled them, you know. I got pictures, and they haven't been.
I had the U.S. Marshals come and take me out of my work once.
Really?
Yeah.
Want to thank Sativa Cross, cmmnj.org, magicalbutter.com, Happy Daddy Products, NewJerseyWeedman.com. He's still rotting in jail with cancer. You know that? Rotting. Literally.
Bail denied. Officially, I believe. Wow. Next August 10th, I think it is, to set the trial date for September.
So listen, Ed needs letters. Send him letters. Send him stuff to read. He's looking for stuff to read.
Yeah,
now.
print out articles about him, anything like that.
Yeah, I'm going to send him some stuff when I get a chance.
I'm terrible at that stuff, but I will actually do
I
it.
will. Because he's asking for it. So
yeah, he is asking
Give
for
him
it.
what he wants right now. Please. Help Ed out. He's
hopefully
suffering.
I know he was asking for copies of his book sent into the jail, so hopefully somebody did that.
I mean, I didn't have medicine for 2 hours and I cried like a bitch. Ed hasn't had his medicine how many days? 150 days? 60 days?
It's 150, 145. I forget the exact number.
Yeah, it's getting up there.
It's ridiculous. I mean,
I think it's more than 140. It just probably seems like it when I hear a good.
Well, and
count.
then they just added 24 days. They said they're adding like
24?
to the it's 180 days they have to have the trial by. Now they just added 24 more days.
I knew they wanted to add something. I'd heard 40. Maybe they bargained down. To
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
September, October. What's the difference?
Yeah, he's just sitting there rotting away.
No, wait. Somebody, the clock wasn't
And he's
started.
eating that jail food with cancer too. You know that ain't healthy.
I'll give you cancer.
Oh yeah, start the clock again. Sorry, hit the button again. Start it again.
And one more thing before we go and finish, we neglected to mention that our longest time and most often supporter, William Haney, was here last week with an arm. He has shoulder problems, and he couldn't even move it, and it was kind of numb. And it turns out he was having a stroke. So he had an accident on the way home, and his car's totaled. He had a week in rehab for the stroke. Not going to be permanent damage. Could be 2 years to back up to whatever normal is for him. And then his computer had some malware affect it. So now he couldn't even watch the podcast today. And he has very, very little help with maintaining his supply of medicine at this point. So if anybody knows William, and you know how to get in touch with him, and you want to snip one in half and bring it over,
he'll appreciate it.
Please do.
William Haney needs a half a doob from everyone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Total it up.
Everyone.
Yeah. So William, we know you're not watching, so doesn't matter. We hope you get better soon.
You hear that up there in the government offices? William Haney needs half a doob.
Yeah. Oh no! I just over the airwaves. Since this is on the airwaves, I've just committed a felony by suggesting
He doesn't feel well. He had a stroke.
Yeah. You don't need no stinking badge to say that.
DavidVersusAutism.org, Blue Planet Biotech, Run New Jersey, Medical-Freedom.com. That's William Haney's website. Go to that one. Get your State of Compassion flags from there.
Yeah, if you can't send him half a doob, you should at least order some of his flags. That would help him out.
Yeah, they're great flags. Can of Sense, New Jersey Grannies for Grass, Tuffy's Fight, Legalize for Lorelei, JacksonStorms.com, Prayers for Sarah, Prayers for Pete, Jenny's Purple Ribbon Journey, Jenna's Journey, Women's Veterans Collective, Weed for Warriors, and Alonzo2017.com. That's the Cannabis Patients' Rights campaign. That's why I was at Cory Booker's event, you know. I was there to talk to Cory Booker about District 31's problems with arresting patients.
And your patient got arrested.
I get arrested.
Your patient got arrested.
I'm there to talk to. You can't make this stuff up. I'm there to talk to Cory Booker about problems with arrests and. No.
Imagine if Alonzo was there, the assemblyman possible elect would have been arrested if he's smoking. Yeah.
No.
And I didn't hear, but did I miss the new Riley Cote's hemp heels? Is that what it's
Hemp Heals is added to our list also. Hempheals.com or .org. We'll have to figure that one out.
I had some of the CBD help me get through the week this week.
Good stuff, man.
I was happy to have it. Since our New Jersey program can't keep CBD at a cheap price in the dispensaries here anymore. And with the testing, who knows if it even has CBD in it anymore.
Arsenic?
Sure, it's got CBD here.
For real?
Yeah, I know. I mean, how would you know? You have no way.
Some of the testing has come back 10% off.
Oh, no.
And if 10% off on CBD, there's no CBD in it.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
The dispensary came out and admitted that.
They put one of the strains on sale and sold off as much as possible as they could, and then and it's literally 10% less THC in one of the strains, 9%, something like that off. That's dirty. Selling it with the wrong label, isn't that illegal? Imagine if OxyContin was 10% plus or minus their percentage in their pills. And I'm sure there is a little bit of leeway on that, but if a 10 milligram pill is 20 milligrams, that's 10 points off. That's double. and this cannabis is half as strong.
The only thing, ironically, that I know of that wouldn't matter if they were off is Marinol, because according to the makers of Marinol, it goes through your system with between 80 to 90% undigested, which means you're getting between 10 and 20%. That's the range of here's what you're going to physically get, depending from one day to the.
All drugs are like that. Depends on how much gets destroyed before it gets passed through the liver.
But when it's like you could get a 5 milligram effect, or you could get a 10 milligram effect. We're telling you somewhere that's a large range. You know, it's not like a little bit off.
That's because everyone's liver function is different.
You're talking about 10%. That's 100% different, or 50% less.
Well, I'm actually being inaccurate. I'm saying 10%. 10% different. It's not 10% different. It's 50% different, because it went from 20% THC to 10% THC. So it literally is 50% off.
There should be something that you can feel or not feel, actually.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying the lavender is not as strong as it used to be. I haven't tried it, but it's literally 10 points. Like, it went from 21% to 12%.
Well, the mothers get weaker as they go, so they're probably just cloning the hell out of a mother.
Well, yeah, they're mass cloning, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's
Failure.
And that is very good an idea of what could be happening. It could be strain, there's a word there, I forget the name of it. Some scientific word where it slowly weakens.
Now, what the heck is this? What did Honeybee send me? What is this, Honeybee?
It's time that you had a lifetime guarantee on a used product.
At Carruthers Tire, we have a life of the tread guarantee
Honeybee.
on used tires.
Experience the difference.
If you need tires in Hillsboro, Oregon.
Wow. Well, Honeybee, you're on the radio?
I do.
You did a radio spot for your wow, that was amazing.
Fancy.
I've been them a few times.
I love it.
Thank you.
All right, hold on. Let's hear the other one here. You got a couple here. Carruthers Tire.
People are going to be buying tires with that voice.
You got a great voice for radio. Why aren't you on the radio?
Well, thank you. I'm trying to be.
I'm trying to be.
Thousands of tires in stock.
A huge selection of new tires that are price conscious and value rated. That means we want you to get the best bang for your buck.
Plus, Carruthers Tire has a massive inventory of fully guaranteed used tires.
We want you to buy with confidence, and that is why we back up everything with a satisfaction guarantee.
Come experience the difference at Carruthers Tire, 235 Southwest Oak Street in Hillsboro. We are satisfied only when you are.
There's a lot of sexual innuendo in there.
There was massive.
I am strangely aroused, and I need new tires.
Bang for your buck. Wait a minute. There's all kinds of stuff going on in that commercial. Your boss is a pervert. I'm just saying that right now. Very subtle pervert.
I'm excited, and I need rubber.
The rubber meets the road, right? Yeah.
Wow, Honeybee. How come we don't sound so good on our podcast?
Jim Wayne, we have to stop at Goodyear on the way home. We don't have Carruthers here.
Oh, man.
Wow. That was good, Honeybee.
Thank you.
And he said, when.
When. I heard satisfaction guaranteed.
I heard massive.
You guys have to work with him. No.
We're 3,000 miles away.
Tires in stock.
A huge selection of new tires that are
huge
tires.
Huge. Oh, it's so big.
It's
they do like them bigger, don't they?
Big and black.
price
Big and black
conscious
tires.
and value rated. That means we want you to get the best bang for your buck.
Bang for your buck, Honeybee? Really? Really?
Bang.
Bang for your buck, Honeybee?
Buck.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Let's
Plus,
continue.
Carruthers Tire
Let's
has a
buck
massive inventory of
Massive. Wow. So massive and big and black.
fully guaranteed used tires.
We want you to buy with confidence, and that is why we back up everything.
Back up.
I know, see, and I caught confidence.
Back it
It's all about confidence, ladies.
Okay,
Have a backup plan.
We're officially done with the podcast.
We're off the rails.
We're done. We're done. Honeybee, what have you done?
With a satisfaction guarantee.
Satisfaction guaranteed. This is all about sex.
Come experience
Come experience.
the difference at Carruthers Tire, 235 Southwest Oak Street in Hillsboro. We are satisfied
Satisfied?
only when you are.
Only.
When you
When?
You're first, ladies. Ladies first.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Can I call your boss? Let me speak to your boss right now. I'm very upset with him.
I'm very upset.
Putting you through that sexual harassment.
Tires.
Wow.
I need new tires.
I'll tell you what, Honeybee, just take this excerpted out of the when it gets put up, and get an excerpt of it, and show your boss, or show the tires guy there how excited we all were to hear about it, especially Tony.
Yes, very excited.
Yes. Wow.
I have to drive across the country soon. I actually need to get new tires.
They could actually put this up as like a 3-minute commercial that would kick ass, man.
Yeah. Our commercial's better.
We give them permission to use this for a commercial.
I would come get Carruthers tires,
You
but
wanna-
I can't drive 3,000 miles over there with my tires.
That's great.
I gotta leave my old tires in New Jersey.
My tires are so worn down; they got no tread.
No tread.
I don't even know what it means.
Mine are dry rotted.
It's probably funny, right?
Ew. Mine are dry rotted.
Okay, there you go. Anyway, all right, well, listen, you were doing credits, so I hate to do it like a really quick pivot, but
Well, we're on the list now.
Time constraints.
Now we're on the list.
Yeah.
So fun's over, guys.
Now, talk about a 180.
Yeah. Talk about going from a fun to
man.
wow.
Wonk, wonk, wonk.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a long free fall. I haven't even got halfway down.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Jesus.
Oh man. Yeah, let's go talk about people who like pretty much died before it was their time after this. You know.
Yeah, we always do that. We always go from high to low. It's like a roller coaster of
Yeah, but
emotions.
this was just like, okay, you know, we're clocking out, so we get to say stuff like this. It's not typical podcast. It's not meant to be. It's just having some fun, just sitting around. You know, we happen to be broadcasting.
And we're not going to rush this list. I rushed the list one time, and I didn't like how I sounded rushing the list. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, man. Sorry. Not
Yeah.
rushing this.
It's got to be done.
So Cheryl
Not
Miller.
sorry.
Yeah. No, not sorry. You're right. Not sorry. And Cheryl Miller, you're going to get the time that you deserve on this show because of what you've done and how you affected other activists.
Okay, you want a quick story?
Yes.
I do this, and this one you can
Yes.
take as you will. It's not going to be the usual Cheryl story. One time I had said something about this effing thing or that effing thing, and I'm saying effing. And not effing then. I was like Claire, and she just said, "Can I ask you a question?" or stop me and said something like that, and she said, "Is a really good time the same as a really good effing time? Is it the same thing?" And she seemed to mean it. What she was really saying after that was that you use it too much, and I can't tell when you're angry or not if I can't see you, because she couldn't be looking at me. And she'd hear that, and she genuinely didn't know if she should be going, oh, or oh, you know. And I thought, there you go. If I'm always talking like that, or somebody's always upset, it means the one time you want it to stand out, it won't. And not that that's literally a good metaphor for what Lefty and I were talking about, how angry Lefty might not get as far as sad Lefty, and the same point being made. But anyway, that's what, and I never forgot that, and I just thought, you know, and it's a lot more effective explaining this story when I don't have to say effing, but I'm trying to respect that. You know, well, okay, we're saying they were going to buck a trend or something in that commercial, I think, or something with the word buck, and we having a bucking good time. So when I would be using bucking as an adjective, as an example, and say, you know, this bucking sucks, and she would say, is that the same as it sucks? And I thought, man, I get it, you know, and I moderated, and I've gone by that ever since. You know, it just used to be an adjective for me that I would use way too freely, and so basically, when you really go over the edge, if you don't go over the edge a lot, it becomes almost more effective, you know. And so she was right, you know. It was Sorry, nothing to do about Candace, but it was about her goodness and the way she saw things like an Edith Bunker character would, you know, in total real and simplistic terms, you know. Well, related to cannabis, it was when the MPP who was helping us get arrested in Jim Rogan's office wanted her to light up a joint, and she said, I won't. I said, why not? Because I don't smoke, I eat it. And I said, yes, but it's for demonstration purposes. And she says, well, that would be like fooling somebody. When you're right, you don't need to fool anybody. Boom. Better story, more related, but she was right. So she wouldn't. And it was like, it was beyond that, no smoking allowed. That wasn't the rule that she wanted to break. That's why you see in the NBC footage, I'm breaking off a piece of a bud, because that was our idea to do it. You know, I said, well, I don't have any of her butter capsules, and that's what we do right now. And it wouldn't have been as effective as that, so she agreed to take it and chew it up like a pill and swallow it, and then she forgot about that by the time, because when you look at the news footage, she's looking back and forth for a second, like, what? God damn it, eat it. But yeah, and the rest is history, so. Yeah. The only patient in New Jersey for 7 years who was public from 1991 until we found somebody else that was being public in 1998. 7 years could not find one other illegal patient to speak up. 7 years.
Who was the other one?
The next one?
The second one.
Actually it was Gary Sage.
Oh, Gary. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He would be the first person that would openly talk about it and why he uses it for medicine and willing to identify himself. So, yep. Actually, that was 1999 then, so it was 8 years. I was doing the math quick, but I met him in 99. At a class action lawsuit of 500 patients, federal lawsuit in Philadelphia. What a long time. And there are more, though. I mean, last thing about Cheryl was, why do you do this? Do you think it's going to be legal in your lifetime? And she'd say so sweetly, oh no, I'm not going to live to see this, but there's a lot of other Cheryl and Jims that have more time. So, you know, yeah, man.
Those of us that are sitting here today may be seeing, well, with our legal cannabis, and maybe seeing legal cannabis for social use everywhere, are standing on the shoulders of giants like Cheryl Miller.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and many others too, you know. Right now you go around and you take anybody that says, I support cannabis or medical marijuana in New Jersey and say, have you heard of Cheryl Miller? 9 out of 10 are going to say no, at least. Maybe 49 out of 50. That's my fault, you know. I could have recorded it better. I could have made it more of a legacy, but it's not how I roll, apparently.
You are right now.
Yeah, I tell her I'd keep showing up, and I do, and deathbed promise 4 days before she died, so. Hey, that's appropriate story.
Mm-hmm.
The deathbed promise. I said I can't keep this up anymore. I got to tell you. First I told her she's going to die, and, I told her you're going to be with Ricky and Dina soon, her son and daughter who had deceased her. And then I said, I got to tell you though, I can't keep this up. The advocacy, I'm worn out. And she never said, oh, but you have to, like ever. And that's when she chose to say, but you have to. And I kind of knew what she meant, and I said, why? She said, don't you wish we'd known sooner? And that was that when I asked her, do you want to do it quiet or do you want to do it loud? We found that it worked in late 1990. And she didn't understand the question even. And she said something to the effect of, I want to know sooner, but nobody told us. And her reply was, we shouldn't want somebody to have done something for us we're not willing to do for somebody else. Of course. So anyway, that was it. I said, listen, I'm not going to keep this up. And she said, you have to. Don't you wish we'd known sooner? And that was all she had to say. So it was kind of invoking the original thing she said at the beginning, rather appropriate when you think about it. And so I settled on, okay, what I'll do is I'll ask myself, what would Cheryl want to do? I mean, if you were here, would you have gone? Would it have mattered? And yeah, would you have gone to a podcast once a week? Oh, yeah. All right, here I am, you know. Would you help somebody like Lefty? Do I have to? Yeah, of course. Okay, I have to. I don't even like you.
And the way I look at it is, if Jim Miller and Lefty can be here, I can be here.
Don't make me laugh. I'm trying to be sad.
Anyway, the list is long, though.
This list sucks. It's horrible. But your stories are very amazing and uplifting to me. And, to other people, too.
That's why I think more people should know, because that's why I say it's my fault. I could have done more to spread that as a legacy that others could understand.
You're doing it now,
take
Jim.
part.
You're doing it now.
Whatever.
Sabina Rose never had that chance. She was 15 months old when she was taken by a 26-hour seizure. Cannabis 2 weeks away. Her cannabis card was literally 2 weeks away from getting it in the mail. She ran out of time. Diane. She was here at the State House a few times.
Oh, yeah. Got some good footage of her celebrating before a press conference or afterwards that the DPA put on after hearing her in her wheelchair. She brought a boom box and they're playing "We Are Family," and she was so she was moving her. I've never seen maybe anybody that happy, and then when it wasn't happening real quick, she wasn't so happy. And the last thing I remember was her saying quite publicly at a press conference that she didn't want to die, and she was about crying. So, and for Diane, there's her case husband, Joe, left to be part of that list forever,
Gracie from Pennsylvania, Cindy Mae, Marie, Jack from Colorado, Joan Ford, Randy Robertson, Chad, who died from brain cancer, was not able to get the oil he needed. It was too late for Chad. Jeremy was killed by drug court. His rights were stripped away before he was killed. Colette from MS. Oh, shout out to Michelle, who's having some MS symptoms right now in the hospital. I hope she's doing a little better now.
Hey, Michelle Burns.
Be better.
Matt. Troy from pancreatic cancer. My friend Russ Perry. My friend Jay Oleto. Roger Barber. William Buckman. The last name on our list is Michael Dillon, which is Honeybee's son. And
yes, it is.
Honeybee's son died from a drop seizure. I'm sorry. He's on this list. Sorry we have this list. So if you have 10% that you can give to somebody in need, give it to them. Because there's somebody out there that needs it. And if you got some,
there sure is.
Give it to them.
There's William Haney's all over the place.
Yeah, William Haney could use some.
And one William Haney.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yes.
There's definitely only one William Haney. But
yeah.
Yeah. He's had a stroke and it's become even more medicine.
Even more of a reason that he needs a half of your doob.
Or buy some flags and help him that way.
Yeah, buy a flag.
Buy a flag.
Medical-freedom.com. Honeybee.
Yes.
Can you end the show with your wonderful radio voice?
I sure will.
Thank you.
They shall grow not old, As we that are left grow old, age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We
will